What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 5KN Chapter 76 A bold request to cut off the warship, subscribe. Lu En had no other choice, he couldn't leave Momoshiki without winning. If he won, there would be many troublesome tasks in the future. It was a dilemma, he had to bite the bullet and go for it. Now, he just had to consider the subsequent results. Momoshiki couldn't help laughing when she heard Lu En's words. Sure enough, this kid really had terrible skills. He even dared to say, 640, like this. If he didn't have self-confidence, he would never say that. Don't worry, I'm here. If you can cut off my warship in front of me, you win. I can't just watch you do it. Do you really think your boss has no strength at all? You look down on me, don't you? Momoshiki didn't know what to say about Lu En's blind self-confidence. He was obviously a powerful swordsman, but now he was looked down upon. It wasn't that Lu En looked down on Momoshiki, but he was really confident in his own strength. Then it's a deal, compared to defeating Momoshiki Vice Admiral. Perhaps it should be easier to cut off the warship, hee. Lu En's eyes were shining, and it seemed that he had obtained some important information. Momoshiki regretted what he said. From the intelligence, Lu En did have extraordinary experience. If he put all his attention on the warship, it would be difficult for him to defend himself. But he had already said it, how could he take it back easily? Now is the critical moment, and this is the only chance to let Momoshiki take action. Testing Lu En's strength is the best way at present. Go get your sword. I've been waiting for the sword in my hand for a long time. Don't waste too much time, you should want to leave right away, right? It's good for both of us, let's fight right away. Momoshiki wiped the famous sword Kinpila in her hand and waited for Lu En's action. No matter how long it takes to discuss, it's better to act in time. I don't need to prepare, I'm not a swordsman anyway. I don't have any swords. I'll just find a sword when I get outside. The last time I fought the Vinsmoke family, I just found a sword casually. Hee, as long as it's light enough, it doesn't make any difference to me. Lu En's words surprised Momoshiki even more. Any powerful swordsman definitely has a sword that he is familiar with. This is his foundation, just like his life. No one can resist the temptation of a famous sword, but when it comes to Lu En, everything seems different. I can't guess what Lu En is thinking about. Why is his thinking different from that of normal people? You don't even have your own sword? You just used an ordinary sword to cut off the Vinsmoke family's ship? Are you kidding me? There is indeed no such information in the intelligence of Momoshiki 3.1. If the action continues, something interesting may happen. Ha, I'm not kidding. Doesn't Momoshiki Vice Admiral have a lot of intelligence? Whether I lied or not, you can just ask your intelligence officer directly. Lu En said casually, not taking it seriously at all, and not trying to hide his thoughts. Chapter 77. Preparations for action, can't wait, please subscribe. Okay. I'll let you use the Deputy General's sword. Although it's not a famous sword, it's also a good sword. You're so confident, you must be good at using Haki, right? Otherwise, how can you use any sword so freely? Momoshiki asked Lu En curiously. Only after knowing Lu En's strength, he knew how to attack. If he didn't use it lightly, he might get himself into trouble. Haki? This is not my area of expertise. My swordsmanship is average, can we discuss it? If we fight later, only use swordsmanship, not Haki. The abilities Lu En got were all system-locked. In terms of Haki, it is indeed impossible to compare with the current Momoshiki. If Momoshiki uses Haki too skillfully, he will have no room to resist. But if he just uses swordsmanship, he will have the upper hand. Momoshiki has no way to match the swordsmanship of Peak Ryoma and Peak Kazuki Oden. She can say that she is sure to win and can leave at any time. Don't be so nervous, I will definitely not hurt you. Since you think your Haki is not as good as mine, then fine, I agree to your request. Let's just compete in swordsmanship, no one can use Haki. Even in terms of physical strength, there are not many people in Naval Headquarters who can surpass me. Don't look at Momoshiki as she is just a woman. Physical fitness and physical skills are not her weaknesses at all. As long as she can give him enough opportunities, she will definitely let Lu En know how powerful she is. How could she know that when it comes to physical fitness? Lu En in front of her can be described as a monster. I'm afraid that only after experiencing it personally, the group will be shocked. Okay, that's great. Momoshiki Vice Admiral, how long do you have to prepare? How about I wait for you on the deck outside and warm up at the same time? I don't have anything to prepare, lend me a sword, and I can start anytime. Lu En urged impatiently. Now that he has the chance to leave, how can he continue to waste time here? Ha, you are definitely the first person who is eager to take action with me. Let's go, we will start now. Let all the people outside disperse a little, don't get them involved. Momoshiki followed Lu En into the cabin and was ready to take action. Lu En hurriedly did what Momoshiki said. For the soldiers on duty outside, he began to command. Everyone, spread out, stand farther away. Clear all the space on the deck. Not here, stand farther away. 507, don't let me hurt you, hurry up. Yes, yes, stand farther away. Lu En gave orders one by one, leaving everyone puzzled. The captain asked, Commando Lu En, what happened? Why do you want to disperse everyone and leave space on the deck? Are you going to go fishing? Are you in such a good mood? Standing is the duty of every Marine, and it is a rule that cannot be broken even when facing Lu En. Now seeing Lu En doing this, they naturally have to directly raise the questions they don't understand. Chapter 78 The most powerful swordsman may not win, please subscribe. What kind of fishing? Fighting. Momoshagi Vice Admiral and I are going to have a swordsmanship contest here in a while. Have you heard about my story? Lu En looked at the captain beside him and asked proudly. Momoshagi knew everything so well, and the newspapers also reported it specially. The familiarity should not have diminished. The Marines in the Naval Headquarters now all know Lu En's deeds by heart. Clear. Of course I know, Lu En Commodore, you cut off the Vinsmoke family's ship. Lu En Commodore, you and Momoshagi Vice Admiral, are you really going to fight here? The captain looked at Lu En in shock and didn't expect such a thing to happen on the ship. The soldiers wanted to see Lu En's strength with their own eyes. Because Lu En was too young, such a young man was basically the same age as the recruit. But he was able to sit in the position of Commodore with his own strength. In the Naval Headquarters, he was a rare strong man. Momoshagi had the opportunity to fight with Lu En's swordsmanship competition is also a great opportunity for them to broaden their horizons. That's right, we're fighting here. What are you still standing there for? Clear the field. Don't be idle, do you want to be affected too? If I fight, I can't take care of you, unless any of you think you can withstand the sword energy of me or Momoshagi Vice Admiral, then I don't need to remind you. Lu En is just sending a signal to tell them that he is very strong. Stay away from them for a while and don't attack them. Got it, get out of the way now, quick, let go of the sleeping deck. Do you want to die? Don't you know the strength of Momoshagi Vice Admiral and Lu En Commodore? The captain immediately drove away all those who were still hesitating. Clear the field quickly, Lu En, if you are ready, we can start at any time. Momoshagi took off her cape and put on a neat pink marine uniform. Moving her hands and feet, she could open her anus immediately if she wanted to. Lu En glanced at the marine captain who had just retreated to a distance. He hurried to the captain's side. Sorry, can I borrow your sword for a while? I'll return it to you after I use it, and I promise not to damage it. Lu En was very polite and didn't have any airs at all. Many soldiers who had been in contact with Lu En these days also liked Lu En's personality. As the leader of the Marine, everyone had a big air and liked to order people around. Moreover, there were many troublesome things waiting for everyone. Lu En was different, he would never do anything that could be avoided. My saber? But my saber is just an ordinary saber? Commodore Lu En, your opponent is Lieutenant General Momoshagi, Li Liaohao, you should use your famous sword, right? Otherwise, it will be very troublesome. Momoshagi Vice Admiral is the most powerful swordsman I have ever seen. In the Naval Headquarters, if we only talk about swordsmanship, she is the strongest Vice Admiral I have ever seen. The captain reminded Lu En, wanting Lu En to pay enough attention to this matter. His opponent was not an ordinary person, but a candidate for the quasi-admiral. Even if the Marine captain didn't remind him, Lu En knew this in his heart. Chapter 79. With a wave of his hand, is this a teenager? Subscribe. He is not someone who will easily let go. It is rare that he has experienced so much and received so much help. If he lets go now, he will not be able to escape from Momoshagi. Everyone may not know that Lu En is more cautious than anyone else at this moment, and even feels that he must do this well. I am very serious, how can I relax and let go? Let's persuade Momoshagi Vice Admiral to be more serious. Why am I talking to you about this? I came to borrow the saber. It's not so expensive that you don't want to lend it to me, right? Lu En was too lazy to explain too much. If 700 wants to test his strength, he can only show it on the battlefield. Of course I am willing, it's not a big deal. It's my honor to be able to use my sword to compete with Momoshagi Vice Admiral in swordsmanship. Lu En Commodore, you must do your best, in case you can't win, don't force yourself too much. After all, Momoshagi Vice Admiral is the superior, it's normal for her to beat us. The Marine captain began to worry about Lu En's safety and took the initiative to comfort her. At Lu En's age, being able to achieve the current achievements is something that many people can't do. There is no need to worry too much about the gains and losses of the present for some trivial matters. After taking the initiative to say it, it can also make the scene calmer. I understand, you are a good person. If you have the opportunity in the future, you can also follow me. You still consider my safety, ha ha ha, no one has said this for a long time. Lu En still felt a little strange. Only at this moment can one see a person's courage. On this warship, the only person who could remain so calm in the face of Momoshagi was probably Lu En. After getting the sword, Lu En came directly to the opposite side of Momoshagi. Doff! Lu En raised his hand and swung a sword, and a strong gale fell directly on the deck. The deck actually made a hissing sound. CJAF, This sword is pretty good, suitable for me. The weight is just right, it seems that a random sword is so handy. Momoshagi Vice Admiral, I'm ready, you can attack at any time. Lu En said with a smile, and couldn't wait to show her ability. After being on the ship for so long, it's time to show her ability. If it wasn't for the purpose of avoiding labor, who would choose to fight Momoshagi at this time? Momoshagi stared at the cracks on the deck, her heart was shaking. Just a normal test of the sword? It can release such a strong sword energy? She could feel that this sword could not be done without decades of practice. But how old is Lu En? How could she be dozens of years old? Ordinary people may not be able to see the depth of the previous move. It just feels powerful. Momoshagi smelled a dangerous breath. This has little to do with Haki and strength, it is completely about the attainment of swordsmanship. The sword energy is released, and ordinary swordsmen can do it. A casual wave is enough to create such power. The reinforced deck was directly cracked. It seems that Lu En's previous words were not a joke. If he used all his strength, could he stop him from cutting off the warship? Momosagi's heart began to beat fast, and she couldn't judge how far things would develop next. Chapter 80. Just one sword, a powerful explosion. Please subscribe. So strong. Is the sword energy so strong? I only heard about it before, but I didn't expect it to be so strong. Is this the true strength of Lu En Commodore? Hey, what's going on now? Are the two going to compete? It's really exciting? I feel more nervous than them. Guess who will be more powerful in the end? I really can't guess the result. I thought Momoshagi Vice Admiral would definitely win before. Now that I see the strength shown by Lu En Commodore, I think it's really hard to say now. Maybe today on this warship, we can witness a miracle. There was a lot of discussion at the scene. The order that they just left was all put aside. At this time, it was useless to say anything. Lu En, I didn't expect you to be so arrogant. Come on, let me see your true strength. As your superior, how could I bully you first? It was also me who proposed the swordsmanship competition, just do it. Don't forget what we said in the cabin just now. If you want to get rid of me, show all your strength. Momoshagi deliberately provoked Lu En to stop hiding. The generals on her ship had never shown their true experience. Speaking of which, it was her responsibility as a superior. Lu En knew that no matter what she said, Momoshagi would definitely let her take action first. Respecting the opponent is also for freedom. Lu En restrained her playful mentality and let out a long breath. Her eyes instantly became sharp. As a swordsman, her 5 senses are quite sharp. She can fully feel the changes in the opponent in front of her. She knew that Lu En was going to show her true ability. This is also the result that Taomin wanted to see. In an instant, Lu En's figure disappeared on the spot. It just disappeared in the eyes of outsiders. Momoshagi could clearly sense that Lu En came to her in the blink of an eye at an incredibly fast speed. Looking at the direction of Lu En's sword swing, Momoshagi was not nervous at all. Do you think you can target me like this? Lu En, are you underestimating me? I am not the inferior opponent you met before, please give me flowers. You can't even make a feint, but you actually attack head-on? Momoshagi held the sword horizontally and blocked it in front of him. At the same time, the power burst out, prepared to receive the recoil force and the sword energy that burst out. Boom! A collision set off a hurricane. The hurricane tore through the fence of the deck and broke into the sea. Zero on the comm picture, a few meters high waves were raised. The huge waves split the sea surface, and the small fish and shrimps mixed in it were really miserable. Before I understood what happened, I was split in half by the scattered sword energy. In a flash. Crash. The huge waves gradually swept towards the distance, covering the sky and the sun, looking very scary. If the power was not swept in the direction of the warship would have been swallowed up now. The people who were watching the excitement just now, the marine soldiers, were all shocked. They all hid aside trembling. How could anyone who was not afraid of death dare to step forward? The strong sword energy made it impossible to see the situation at the scene clearly. No one noticed what was happening in the circle. Chapter 81. Not yet in action, Vice Admiral is shocked, please subscribe. The two people in the battle circle knew clearly what happened. In the moment just now, Momoshagi thought that she had the advantage in momentum and strength. She was not arrogant, nor did she waste the opportunity. But at the moment when the swords touched each other, a tyrannical and unreasonable overbearing force directly suppressed Momoshagi. She was pressed down by him, unable to move at all. The so-called advantage of 460 was not worth mentioning in front of Lu En. How? How is it possible? What level of power is this? I don't see this kid exercising on weekdays. Why can he burst out with such power? Is he really a genius? Actually, he was suppressed. Momoshagi struggled to withstand Lu En's first attack. Avoid unloading the sword energy and power on the ship. Otherwise, the ship may suffer huge damage after the first attack. The bet between himself and Lu En must not be decided in one attack. What surprised Momoshagi the most was that she had overestimated Lu En's strength. But she was still completely shocked by Lu En. It seems that Lu En's statement of letting Momoshagi attack first was not a deliberate show of strength, but he really had the confidence in his heart. Abu. After a tense confrontation, Lu En temporarily stepped aside and swung the sword in his hand. It didn't matter to him whether the sword was handy or not. Even with an ordinary iron rod, he could fight Momoshagi. The first attack from the front was undoubtedly telling Momoshagi not to underestimate herself. Otherwise, she would suffer a great loss. After the two separated, the sea breeze and waves gradually subsided. Sweat broke out on Momosagi's forehead, and the deck under his feet was broken. If the warship had not been reinforced in multiple layers, seawater would have started to come in. Looking at Momosagi's body, there were obvious damages in her tight clothes. It seems that in order to block Lu En's attack, it took a lot of effort. Such performance made the Marine soldiers watching the battle on the scene completely boil. Is this really the strength of Commodore? God, Lu En Commodore is too terrible. It's the first time I see someone suppress Momoshagi Vice Admiral in swordsmanship. Lu En Commodore looks very easy to fight. Marine Judge, he hasn't played his full strength yet. Yes, he must not have played his full strength. Is he actively holding back? An ordinary attack has already set off a storm. If he goes all out, can Momoshagi Vice Admiral really block it? Is it because Momoshagi Vice Admiral underestimated the enemy, so he was suppressed at the beginning, and he will soon seize the initiative? That's right, it must be like this. Yes, otherwise how could our Momoshagi Vice Admiral easily get the upper hand? Anger Momoshagi Vice Admiral, Lu En Commodore is going to have a hard time. 3.1. Do you all think so? Why do I feel that Lu En Commodore is really too strong? The Marine soldiers were talking about it, and Momoshagi was nervous. Many people also thought that Momoshagi underestimated the enemy and did not exert her full strength. Only Momoshagi herself knew what her condition was. Chapter 82. This is called Commodore? Can't compare with Momoshagi? Subscribe? Not only did she not underestimate the enemy, but she was also very serious right from the start. It was Lu En's fighting power that really made her feel a strong pressure. In previous battles, she had also encountered powerful swordsmen. But never once had anyone brought her such a threat. Momoshagi Vice Admiral, how is it? Can you still hold on? Next time, I will really use my full strength. Just now I just said hello, I'm afraid you will be scared. Lu En smiled provocatively, stimulating Momosagi's nerves. 29 Momoshagi is now completely unable to figure out Lu En. Wasn't it all strength just now? How is it possible? He is just a kid, how can he have such a strong physical fitness? Can the strength be improved? It is definitely bragging, trying to disturb Momosagi's mind. If you get caught up in it and think about it, you will be completely fooled by Lu En. You must not be fooled easily. In fact, how could she know that Lu En really didn't lie, and what he said was all the most true content? Peak Whitebeard. Peak Kaido of the Beasts. Peak Charlotte Linlin. Lu En has all the physical qualities of the three. Combined with the output of swordsmanship, the heaviness of the sword just now did not even bring out half of the level. Because of the restriction on the use of Haki, even Momoshagi, relying only on her physical strength, cannot compete with Lu En. If Haki is added, the current level of Lu En's use of Haki cannot be compared with Momoshagi. The strength of the quasi-admiral candidate is not boasting. The general vice admiral level cannot compare with Momoshagi. The only people who can suppress her are probably the three admirals of the Naval Headquarters and Marshal Sengoku. Now that the conditions for use are restricted, even if Momoshagi wants to play, there is not enough space for her to play. You are just talking big, are you trying to scare me? You want to beat me with strength? Swordsmanship is not that simple. Let me see how strong your swordsmanship is. Next, it won't be that easy to let you get the upper hand. After saying that, Momoshagi turned into a stream of light and rushed directly to Lu En. OJ, dang dang, ajajaj, dang dang dang, a fierce collision of weapons resounded on the deck. It was not the ship that was tortured, but the scattered frenzied sword energy, which slashed the surrounding cabins and masts layer by layer. The Marine soldiers who were able to watch the show calmly before now all found suitable places to take cover and hid one by one. If they continue to stay outside, I am afraid that their lives will be lost one by one. It was just a simple confrontation, how could such a big commotion be created? The Marine soldiers could never imagine that the scene before their eyes would be so terrifying. Although Lu En Commodore was a newly promoted hero of the Naval Headquarters, he received a lot of publicity. But Momoshagi Vice Admiral was, after all, a veteran and powerful Vice Admiral, who had been famous for who knows how long. Now the two of them were evenly matched, and they attacked each other so many times in succession. This was quite inspiring in the hearts of ordinary soldiers. Especially the recruits of the same age, all began to admire Lu En's experience. Lu En was only a teenager, but he was able to suppress the Vice Admiral of the Headquarters, and he was also a candidate for the Admiral. This strength is worthy of admiration. Chapter 83. Half of the power cannot be suppressed. Please subscribe. The longer the fight lasted, the more shocked Momoshagi was. She had never thought that such a consequence would come. It was just a simple fight, but Lu En was so difficult to deal with. I was suppressed? I was at a disadvantage in swordsmanship? Ada. Doesn't this guy have a limit to his physical strength? He suppressed me to this extent before using Haki. How could Haki be bad with such training? So, not using Haki is giving me a break. Momoshagi fell into a strange circle of thinking, and couldn't help thinking because of her mind. How could she know that Lu En was not very good at using Haki? It was not intentional to give Momoshagi a break and let her save her face. It was just because Lu En was too powerful without using Haki that Momoshagi had such an association. Lu En never knew what the limit of physical strength was. He only knew that only by fully exploding all his strength could Momoshagi be completely convinced. In the future, when I am on the ship or when I go out, I can do what I want. Such a big thing is not easy to grasp. Sizzle. Sizzle. The sword energy cut the deck little by little, and the scars on the deck are getting more and more. It has gradually penetrated from the first shallow layer to the bottom. If I don't stop now, the warship may really be hit to the leaking position. Although there is solid steel in the lower layer as a protection for the bottom layer. However, cutting steel is never a difficult thing for a great swordsman. As long as you want to do it, you can burst out and do it at any time. Momoshagi Vice Admiral, are you sweating? Ha ha ha, this is only half of the level. Next is to use all your strength. You must be prepared. I don't have much money to spend on repairing warships. I'm afraid this money will come from your own pocket. Lu En still had the energy to tease Momoshagi, and at the same time, her speed of attack did not slow down at all. Even, every time Momoshagi took the initiative to attack, the direction of the sword was blocked by Lu En. He was just one of her subordinates, but he made Momoshagi breathless in front of the soldiers. If this continues, wouldn't her face be completely lost? Losing face may be a small matter, the most important thing is that she may really not be able to resist Lu En. Hearing him say that he only has half of his strength now, for the first time, Momoshagi felt fear in front of his subordinates. Is it true? Isn't this guy deliberately messing up his mentality? Such a terrifying power, and it's only half of the quasi-up? If it really explodes as he said, what a terrible existence it will be. Ma, do you still have the mind to brag now? Aren't you afraid that I will seize the opportunity and cut off one of your arms directly? You are not a guy without weaknesses, I just relaxed a little temporarily. I advise you to get all your spirits together and prepare for this competition. Arrogance will lead to great losses. Today, your boss will tell you the consequences of arrogance. Momoshagi said as he taught. Chapter 84 The warship is at risk, the situation is critical, please subscribe. It's easy to say, but only Momoshagi knows how great the pressure is. It's really hard to keep fighting like this, especially Lu En keeps his word. When I saw Momoshagi could still warn me, I felt that I could let go. Boom. Boom. If I had described Lu En's swordsmanship as lightning fast, it was hard to keep up and hard to watch. Now, Lu En has simplified it, and every sword attack is quite straightforward and decisive. You know the direction and angle of the sword, but you can still be deeply shocked. Because the power of each sword is too heavy. It's like a mountain pressing directly on the arm. Momoshagi felt that she had good physical fitness and could withstand the pressure. 643 but she was still suppressed, and she didn't expect that Lu En didn't show any flaws. The first person to show flaws was actually herself. In the face of absolute power, any skills are completely restrained. No matter how many ideas you have, your hands and feet are bound by power. Not only Momoshagi felt the heavy power, but the warships under her feet also silently endured it. Every time Lu En's sword fell, the warships shook violently on the sea. The power of the wave caused a strong wave to sweep across. On the sea surface with a breeze, violent waves suddenly appeared. It was Lu En's powerful power that caused a tsunami-like horror scene. How is this possible? Is this really human power? The battle just now is not Lu En Commodore's limit. Not human. Definitely not human. Lu En is not a special race. I heard that the power of special races is so terrible. Even if it is, Lu En Commodore is only a teenager, is he so terrible in his teens? His swordsmanship is not inferior to Momoshagi Vice Admiral, and his power far exceeds Momoshagi Vice Admiral. I really can't see Lu En Commodore's limit at all. I thought it would be a one-sided situation, but who knew it would turn out like this? If this news is passed back to the headquarters, it will definitely cause a sensation again. Isn't it one-sided now? It's just to the other side. Lu En Commodore, are you still going to continue the fight? The shaking is so bad that you don't take the warships that weigh tons seriously. You guys still have the time to talk so much nonsense, am I the only one who is worried about our safety? If we really continue the fight, we will be in danger. The soldiers at the scene started to discuss it thoroughly, the scene in front of them was really too shocking. Moreover, as the battle situation continued to improve, the scene was indeed getting more and more dangerous. If Lu En continued to play, the warship might not be saved. Momoshagi also felt this deeply. But who made him boast and let Lu En attack casually? Now that Lu En really played, it was not so easy to stop him. Use your own strength to suppress, but Momoshagi couldn't do this. I could only watch helplessly under the pressure of power, trying to find an opportunity to see if I could teach Lu En a lesson. Let her end it by admitting defeat, he would definitely not agree. Lu En didn't expect that this woman had such good endurance that she could still persist. He couldn't help but admire her. Chapter 85. Stop for now, don't destroy the warship. Subscribe. Closing square bracket. Boom. After another full-strength attack, Momoshiki was directly knocked back by Lu En's full explosion. After hitting the cabin hard, he finally showed signs of exhaustion. Momoshiki has performed very well to be able to hold on until now while Lu En is constantly increasing his strength. He is also a respectable opponent, but Lu En's strength is too strong. So, there is no need to feel any regret. Quote. Quote. Momoshiki was sweating all over, kneeling on one knee on the ground, and the hand holding the long sword was shaking constantly. When a swordsman can't hold his sword tightly, he can feel how strong Lu En's strength is. It took only 20 minutes before and after, but Momoshiki showed signs of exhaustion. You know, it's not difficult for Momoshiki to fight for half a day with his physical strength and strength when he encounters an evenly matched opponent. 20 minutes. Only lasted 20 minutes. What does this mean? It means that Lu En's strength completely suppressed Momoshiki. Momoshiki and Lu En are not at the same level at all. The marine soldiers saw the two separated temporarily, and looked at the scene with their mouths wide open. No one dared to believe what they saw. Their superior, the number 1 Vice Admiral representative of the Naval Headquarters, was beaten to exhaustion. Monster. Lu En is an absolute monster. It is impossible to describe how strong Lu En is, and how shocked they are. Momoshiki Vice Admiral, I think we should stop here. Thank you for your advice. Now you can rest assured that I can go out on a mission alone, right? The deck of the ship is already badly damaged. If we continue, the warship may really be destroyed. We are just here to compete, not to destroy it. Momoshiki Vice Admiral, am I right? Do you think we can stop now and talk about the mission arrangement? Lu En came to Momoshiki's side and looked down at the jumping rabbit. His eyes were full of teasing, and he could see his smug look. After going through so much, how could Lu En not be calm? Everyone on the ship could see that Momoshiki lost this competition, and lost without any chance to fight back. Please give me flowers. No matter what Lu En planned to do next, no one would stop him. He only wanted this effect, and he didn't have many other ideas. He didn't care whether he could beat Momoshiki and make him admit defeat directly. In the eyes of everyone, or in the eyes of Momoshiki, she had already lost. That was enough. What the hell are you, little brat? Aren't you a special race? This power doesn't use Haki to defend and attack you. It's really hard to hold on, I miscalculated. You hit it too well. Momoshiki was not as angry as she had imagined. Since she was able to bring up the fight, she was definitely someone who could afford to lose, and knew that she needed to leave in a dignified way. If she continued to struggle, without using Haki, the final result would inevitably be failure. The moment she looked up and saw Lu En, Momoshiki knew that she had failed. Because there was not even a little sweat on Lu En's forehead. Chapter 86. Really falling behind, Momoshiki's temper. Please subscribe. Closing square bracket. Momoshiki admitted her failure generously, which made Lu En not know what to say. Is your mentality so good? There is no fluctuation at all. You lost to your subordinates. And it was in the swordsmanship that you were proud of. This woman's heart is so strong. Thank you Momoshiki for your compliment. Then next, can I choose to carry out the task myself? 6, 3, 7. Lu En tried to ask to see if Momoshiki would stop her from doing things. Of course, no problem. I sweated a lot, and it takes time to recover my strength. You can leave tomorrow, don't let anyone come to my cabin to disturb me today. You guys, did you hear me? Don't disturb me. Momoshiki looked at a distance and shouted at others. The target of the shouting was naturally not someone else, but the other Marine King soldiers who had been watching the battle on the ship. Yes, Momoshiki Vice Admiral. Yes, Momoshiki Vice Admiral. As ordered, Momoshiki Vice Admiral. The soldiers answered immediately. They were quite obedient. They didn't comment on the battle just now, and pretended not to see anything. Lu En, go find a boatman to fix the boat. That's it, fix it today. After that, Momoshiki turned and left the scene, and didn't say anything more about the scene. Has Momoshiki Vice Admiral always been so calm? I thought her temper should be that she couldn't accept her own failure. Now it seems that I thought too much. I didn't expect that she was an open-minded leader, and I was petty. Lu En looked at Momoshiki's back and said to the Marine soldiers who came to her side. As a result, seeing the soldiers frowning one by one, Lu En was particularly confused. Did I say something wrong? It's not what I saw. Or is there something else that I don't know? Lu En continued to ask, wanting everyone to give him an accurate answer. It's impossible that everyone knows, Songyu doesn't know it himself. Lu En Commodore, you still don't know Momoshiki Vice Admiral enough. In front of outsiders, she is indeed very calm, but when she gets to a place where no one can see her. The captain of the Marine soldiers looked at Lu En and gave him a look. The look was quite meaningful, so Lu En still couldn't figure out what he wanted to say. Why don't you be more direct? Why don't I understand it a little bit? What will happen when you get to a place where no one can see you? The captain of the Marine soldiers has been with Momoshiki for too long and knows her personality completely. The current stability is all just an appearance. The real side will only be fully revealed after the end. Are you talking about true or false? Why do I feel that I don't understand? Is my ability to understand too poor, or am I really behind? 3.0 Lu En looked at them suspiciously. In the end, he didn't need their answers, the movement in the cabin had already given him the best answer. Bang! First there was a heavy sound of something falling. The whole cabin was shaking, and the strange experience was even worse than the battle. Then, bang, bang, bang bang bang. Chapter 87. Fawning in advance, the Commodore with a promising future. Subscribe. Closing square bracket. Strong turbulence came in waves. Having just come out of Momosagi's office, Lu En didn't realize there were so many things inside. Perhaps it wasn't enough to throw it once, so he picked it up and threw it again. He should have thrown everything that could be thrown. Are you exhausted? Why do you feel more energetic than when you were fighting me? Lu En couldn't help complaining. He wanted to go in and persuade her, but when he heard the shouting inside, he didn't dare to get close. Damn it. What a joke. How could he lose so directly? Damn it. Really damn it. The reason why Lu En didn't dare to go over when he heard the sound was because he didn't know whether Momoshiki was scolding him or him. Got it. Lu En Commodore, we are not kidding. Things are so tense now, let's find a place to hide first. Momoshiki Vice Admiral's temper will not be vented for a while. If we continue to stay here, we will definitely be affected. We have all experienced it personally, this is the experience of those who have been through it. This is the first time I have seen Momoshiki Vice Admiral get so angry. Hurry up, Lu En Commodore, save your life. The captain of the Marines reminded him hurriedly. After following Momoshiki for so many years, I still know this, and I am willing to speak up to remind people around me when it is appropriate. You have such a weird temper. With the strength of Momoshiki Vice Admiral, he shouldn't lose often, right? Or, he won't get angry about other things at ordinary times, right? Lu En asked, and everyone nodded continuously. There is no need to say anything more, the answer is already written on his face. Instructions. Lu En guessed that there was nothing wrong, but she would often get angry because of various things. It seems that it is not a bad thing for me to accept the mission and temporarily go to East Blue to perform the mission. If I continue to stay with Momoshiki, I don't know what little thing will cause Momoshiki's dissatisfaction and directly trouble me. Thank you for your hard work. Let's go. Let the ship repairman come quickly and repair this place. Just now, I was a little too aggressive. If I leave it here without repairing it, it will definitely be flooded in less than an hour. Lu En was also happy to be free and wanted to find a reason to escape immediately. Momoshiki was left alone in her room to vent her emotions. No matter whether she really would not reconcile with me, in short, don't make trouble for Lu En, even if it is very serious. Lu En Commodore, we will arrange this little thing immediately. It will be arranged properly and will not cause you any trouble. Yes, Lu En Commodore, your swordsmanship is amazing. I was dazzled just now. Lu En Commodore, are you really not of a special race? The power just now was too strong. Lu En Commodore, if you have the opportunity to go out, can you think of me, your younger brother? Everyone surrounded him, trying to pull Lu En, hoping that he would think of them in the future. A man who can even beat Momoshiki Vice Admiral, can't you see his future position in the Naval Headquarters? While Lu En is still a Commodore, you must naturally curry favor with him. Now is the best opportunity. Chapter 88. Finally going out, having a party. Please subscribe. Closing square bracket. The next morning, Lu En got Momoshiki's permission and personally selected the Marines to accompany him. At the same time, he also got an attached warship. Although the scale of the warship is not as large as the Vice Admiral class warship. However, it is much more magnificent than his warship in North Blue. Most importantly, Lu En finally had the opportunity to act freely. This is the opportunity he has dreamed of. Do you remember what I said? Repeat it to me. If there is a mistake, you will not have the next chance. Momoshiki looked at Lu En across the position of the ship and said loudly. Let Lu En know his responsibilities and what he needs to do. Don't worry, Momoshiki Vice Admiral, I have memorized everything. Go to Loguetown first and find Colonel Smoker of Loguetown. Tell him to bring me the information of East Blue and work with me. Then, go to East Blue to eliminate the group of the Dragon Pirates. I will not make mistakes in the procedure and ensure that the mission is completed well. Lu En memorized Momoshiki's words by heart. I was just worried that Momoshiki would be dissatisfied and suddenly change her mind. When he went to Momoshiki's office again last night, he saw the mess inside and couldn't help but feel scared. This woman's temper is much more fierce than when she was fighting. Ordinary people can't deal with her at all. You must complete this mission well. You memorized it well. Go ahead and have a good trip. Remember to report your mission progress to me every day on Den Den Mushi. Quote. If you delay the time to return to the headquarters and reunite with me, then. Momoshiki's words have not been finished yet, Lu En answered. There will be no next time, don't worry, Jumping Rabbit uses his waist. Quote. I remember everything clearly, and I won't delay the time. Momoshiki waved her hand and stopped teasing Lu En. She knew that Lu En's mind had already flown away. Continuing to pull him would only make him feel troubled. Watching Lu En and the attached ships go away, Jumping Rabbit muttered to himself. There is one less interesting guy around. The future Naval Headquarters should be the world of this young man. Quote. He can actually beat me in swordsmanship. I am looking forward to what his future will be like. What an interesting guy. On the other side, after watching the Momoshiki Vice Admiral warship getting farther and farther away, Lu En was really relieved. Everyone, do you remember what I said? As long as we leave the Momoshiki Vice Admiral warship, we will hold a grand banquet. Anyway, there will be supplies when we reach East Blue, don't hide anything from me. Bring out all the good wine and good meat. What is the most important thing on the sea? Of course, enjoyment is the most important. After fighting for a lifetime, can't I enjoy it? Immediately, Zhao Zhao, start the grand banquet. Lu En clapped his hands and immediately arranged everyone's actions. If you want your subordinates to follow you willingly, you naturally have to give them enough favors. In this regard, Lu En will definitely not be bad. Long live Lu En Commodore. Long live Lu En Commodore. Long live Lu En Commodore. Let's have a party. Everyone, be happy. From now on, follow Lu En Commodore and you will definitely have meat to eat. Chapter 89. Loguetown's distinguished guest, Smoker welcomes you. Subscribe please. Closing square bracket. The next morning, at the port of East Blue Loguetown. A team of marine soldiers were waiting at the port early. The leading man had a cigar in his mouth, gray hair, and looked fierce. He was the marine colonel nicknamed White Hunter, Smoker. A Logia smoke fruit user. He was once a notorious troublemaker in the Naval Headquarters, completely undisciplined. Otherwise, the Naval Headquarters would not let a Logia user come to a small place like East Blue. It did not help him improve his strength or rank. It was because of his actions in the headquarters that completely angered the officials of the headquarters, so they gave him a little lesson. Even so, he still maintained his character and never felt that he was wrong. 607 Even in a place where East Blue had little combat power, he still maintained his fighting style. Loguetown is known as the starting point and end point of pirates. Here are many pirates from East Blue who come here for the reputation. Although they were not very strong, Smoker still didn't let any of them go. Wherever there are pirates, he will definitely appear. Therefore, if you want to enter the Grand Line with Loguetown, you must first pass Smoker. Today, Smoker received a special order. Welcome the new Marine Judge, Lu En Commodore, at the port. At the same time, you must cooperate with Lu En's work in the future. This is not an easy or pleasant thing for him. Not to mention just a Commodore, even if Momoshiki Vice Admiral came by himself, Smoker would not feel the need to receive him in person. Marine has so many important tasks on his body, and it is not easy to get out of it. This kind of formalism is what Smoker dislikes the most. He even thinks that this so-called Lu En Commodore has no ability at all. It's just that he is lucky to get to his current position. Captain Smoker, do you want to, or not smoke? I just received a call, Lu En Commodore's ship is about to dock. If the Commodore from the headquarters sees you like this, he might report you again. A girl with glasses stood next to Smoker. She carefully persuaded Smoker, hoping that he could correct his attitude. The girl's name was Tashigi, and she was originally a sergeant in the headquarters. Because she had been following Smoker, she was also sent to East Blue. She knew that Smoker was strong, and it would not be difficult for him to return to the headquarters to resume his post. It was just that his attitude did have a big problem, which made Tashigi very anxious. Tisk, it's just a Commodore, why is there such a big show? What, can he really be as powerful as the legend says? A kid younger than me is just lucky. The headquarters likes to exaggerate some news. I don't believe in his ability at all, and I don't think it's a good thing for him to come to East Blue. If you ask me to do something troublesome, I will refuse at any time. Tashigi, just take care of yourself. When is it your turn to interfere in my affairs? Smoker's attitude was quite bad, and he glared at Tashigi directly, scaring Tashigi so much that he didn't dare to continue talking. Chapter 90. Long-term laziness, lead the team well. Please subscribe. Closing square bracket. Yes, Colonel Smoker. I've said too much. Colonel Smoker must have his own ideas. Tashigi spoke immediately. She knew what Smoker would look like if he was angry. There was no need to provoke her boss Smoker for a Lu En Commodore she had never met. Smoker looked at Tashigi's timid look and became even more angry. He just said what he thought. Is he so terrible? Does he need to do this? Here I am. Here I am. Is this the ship of Naval Headquarters? The specifications are really high. Can a Commodore take such a big ship? Didn't a Commodore come here last year? I haven't seen a ship this big. Marine Judge, Lord Lu En Commodore. He is the most popular hero of Naval Headquarters and naturally has special powers. Lu En Commodore is very young, right? It is said that he is only in his teens, younger than our age. It is really enviable. Yes, If I can have such a future, my family will definitely be moved to tears. Most of the Marines stationed in the East Blue Branch have never been to Naval Headquarters. Headquarters. The difference between the officers and soldiers of the branch and the headquarters is not only in strength. There is a big difference in vision. Most of them are just doing their jobs diligently. They don't have many opportunities to see the outside world. It is understandable that they suddenly see such a large warship and show a yearning look. As a result, Smoker's eyes scared the soldiers who were just excited and they dared not speak. If he continued to talk, I am afraid that Luan Commodore would not see that he would be the first to suffer. At this moment, Luan on the ship was looking down at the situation below. Before coming here, he had heard of Zuo Moog's name many times. Today is also a rare opportunity to meet this troublemaker. Trouble is definitely trouble, but Luan doesn't hate capable people. Now he is going to work in the Naval Headquarters, and it is the most important thing to have some trustworthy subordinates around him. Smoker is a good candidate. Please send flowers, 014005529 Philu 141,393,191. The more difficult it is to tame a wild horse, the more loyal it will be to its master. Masagi asked Luan to come here this time, so he naturally couldn't go back so easily. At least he had to leave some of his own forces in East Blue. Luan's account was very clear. If he wanted to be lazy for a long time, he had to have enough people working for him. He let them do all his work, so that he could continue to live well according to his wishes. 0. Luan Commodore, we are here, the ship will dock immediately. Luan Commodore is still very face-saving, and there are people welcoming you below. That's for sure. We Luan Commodore came to a small place like East Blue, so we naturally have to welcome our Commodore. Luan Commodore, the connection station has been set up, you can go down at any time. The soldiers on the ship flattered Luan one by one. These days, following Luan, everyone is much more relaxed than on Mamasagi's ship. It is rare to see a leader as powerful and lazy as Luan. Now that we have met him, we must keep him well and never lose him. Chapter 91 Sign in successfully and get rewards. Subscribe. Closing square bracket. Otherwise, I missed it, but I really didn't let go to find such an excellent cadre. Okay, you go down first, remember to be a little disciplined. On my ship, you can do whatever you want. Once you are in front of others, you must not lose face. Otherwise, I will take back the power I have relaxed at any time. Quote. I know all the methods that Masagi Vice Admiral knows to punish his subordinates. It depends on whether you are really willing to try. Do you understand what I mean? Luan showed off his power a little to let his subordinates know how to behave outside. What if someone reports him back and says that the team he leads is lazy? Maybe he will add some troublesome military training courses. Naval Headquarters is not the North Blue Branch. It is not so easy to get involved. You have to think about the possibilities of various directions in advance. In this regard, Luan is very cautious. He will never let his subordinates make any big mistakes. He must seize the opportunity. Understood, Luan Commodore. Yes, Luan Commodore. Luan Commodore, as you say, we will go down and line up now. Agree one after another, completely obeying Luan's meaning. These days, it is not easy to meet such obedient subordinates. After waiting for them all to go down, Luan also took out his cloak, put it on, and walked down with a swagger. Now, he is the biggest marine leader in this town, so of course he has to show his strength. Smoker is not a guy who can be dealt with so easily. If you don't have a bit of dignity, he might look down on you. Ding. Congratulations host, you have successfully signed into Loguetown. System reward. Armament Haki of Top Garp plus Top Roger plus Top Rayleigh. Luan heard the sudden system prompt sound and his whole footsteps paused. Here it comes. It's finally here. Moreover, the content of this reward is really what he needs most. After mastering swordsmanship and physical fitness, his combat level is already quite good. But Armament Haki has never reached the level of an elite marine, which has greatly limited his combat effectiveness. If he had known that he could sign in such a top-level Haki when he came to Loguetown, he would have come here. Garp, Roger, Rayleigh. These are three people who do not rely on the Devil Fruit ability, but only rely on the Devil Fruit ability. A man who can stand among the world's top strongmen with just Haki. Now Roger is dead, Rayleigh and Garp are old. These two old people are not the existence that anyone dares to mess with. With the armament Haki ability of their heyday, let alone in East Blue. Even in Grand Line, he can walk sideways. There are definitely only a handful of people who can match Luan. Luan forcibly suppressed the movement of the corners of his mouth rising. If he didn't control it, the corners of his mouth might have been raised to the sky. Salute. Salute. 3.3. ... Under the stage, the Marines saluted Luan together, and the posture of receiving the chief was really done very well. Only one person kept the original movement in the stance, without any intention of saluting. Looking at the cigar in his mouth, Luan could see the unhappy look in his eyes. No need for others to introduce him, Luan could also know his identity. Chapter 92 The Troubles of Logia Users. Subscribe please. Want to give me a warning when I just arrived? Sure enough, the troublemakers in Naval Headquarters are not so easy to deal with. If I lose face in front of the Marines, it will not be so easy to get it back. Who is the commander of Loguetown? Come to me. After getting off the ship, Luen said directly to the front. He pretended to ignore the area where Smoker was, pretending not to see him. Smoker's conspicuous presence, ordinary people will definitely notice it directly. It is impossible to miss such critical information. But Luen still asked the commander of Loguetown to come, which was obviously deliberately looking for a reason for Smoker to come to receive him. Smoker is a troublemaker, but not a fool. 29. Naturally, he can understand what Luen meant by this operation. Smoker stood in place and ignored Luen's call. So what if he came from the headquarters? He is also a cadre from the headquarters, but he doesn't have such an arrogant posture. Seeing that no one paid attention to her, Luen was full of confidence. The other party was a Logia user, and Luen knew it very well. Before she mastered the top armament Haki, Luen was indeed afraid of the existence of Logia users. If her speed was not as fast as the other party, she would not be able to catch up with the other party's strength with her low Haki mastering ability. No matter how strong her physical fitness was, it would be useless if she could not exert the power she should have. After possessing armament Haki, all the changes in her mind were reversed. The person who should really be feared was Smoker, but he still followed his own personality and ignored Luen. Captain Smoker, Colonel Smoker, Commodore. He is the Commodore of the headquarters, and he will judge Luen with the army. You can't pretend not to hear it, there will be trouble. Tashigi could no longer bear it, and began to remind Smoker in a low voice. She was the person who least wanted to see trouble. As long as everyone can save face, Commodore Luen will definitely not cause trouble to a Logia user in the future. Why are you lying? Can't you see that he did it on purpose? This is not the Naval Headquarters. And a guy selected from North Blue should have never been to the Naval Headquarters. If it weren't for those old men in the headquarters, it's still unclear who is the superior now. Why should you be so polite to me? Smoker didn't lower his voice at all, and directly answered Tashigi's questions in his usual tone. Tashigi noticed Luen's gaze and looked in the direction where they were. From Luen's appearance, it was clear that he had heard their conversation. If this goes on, wouldn't it be telling Luen that he was causing trouble for him? Marine Colonel Smoker, nicknamed White Hunter. It's you, right? It seems that you have a lot of opinions about me. Quote. Why do you stand there when I ask you to come and see the commander? Luen said as he took the initiative to come over, pinching his wrist. As the first person to test his Haki, it would be the best thing to choose a Logia user. There is absolutely no more suitable candidate. Even if Smoker didn't show any signs of being a troublemaker, Luen would take the initiative to cause trouble, and he must not be led off so easily. Chapter 93 Smoker's Provocation, Unwilling to Obey. Please subscribe. Closing square bracket. I thought Luen wouldn't dare to come and cause trouble for me directly. Unexpectedly, he actually came directly in front of me. Smoker really admired Luen's courage. Of course, he didn't mean to be afraid at all. Why should I receive a guy who was promoted to Commodore by luck? Let alone you, I won't give face to those old guys in the headquarters either. So what? I have been transferred to East Blue, and it doesn't matter if I transfer to another place. Loguetown, you are the highest officer, as long as you don't mess with me, you can do whatever you want. Tashigi, you are responsible for staying and cooperating with this kid, I'm going back to sleep. Smoker really didn't intend to give Luen face, and his tone of voice was quite arrogant. He didn't take Luen's arrival seriously at all. He dared to speak to him directly in front of Luen's subordinates. He is indeed a thorn in the Naval Headquarters, relying on his Logia ability, he dares to be so arrogant. It seems that it is not a wrong decision to let him come to a small place to gain experience. Just arrived in a small place, all he has is anger and uncontrolled temper. His character has not been hit yet, and he will not learn a lesson at all. Coming here today, Luen is definitely going to give Smoker a blow. Colonel Smoker, you can't just leave like this. Sorry, Luen Commodore, Colonel Smoker didn't get enough rest yesterday. Maybe he has a bad temper, I'll persuade him now. Tashigi didn't want to see a fight between the two of them right away, so she naturally started to persuade them immediately. But she was just a subordinate, how could she control Smoker? Smoker had already planned to give Luen a warning, and he had already said it. How could he stay and let Luen say anything more? You have nothing to do here, just stay and make arrangements. Our Luen Commodore, you can follow us wherever we want to go. Quote. As for wanting me to stay, forget it, there is no possibility at all. Smoker said provocatively, and gave Luen a look. If Luen is dissatisfied, it seems that he will take action at any time. Many Commodores in the headquarters are indeed not Smoker's opponents. His devil fruit ability is quite tricky, and it is not so easy to deal with it. Therefore, most people dare not go against Smoker. Even if you see his temper and arrogance, only a little patience can solve the problem. What others can tolerate is not so easy to tolerate for Lu En. Smoker, you are so brave. The head of the headquarters is here, you don't receive him. You actually threatened me with words, saying that I am the seat dog of the Commodore who sat there by luck. Do you want to disobey the orders of the head? Did I let you go? Promise. Lu En first put the hat on Smoker. When he takes action later, he will have a direct reason. What he wants is Smoker's current state. If Smoker had received him honestly, he would not have had the opportunity to wear headphones. You won't let me go. Do you want to stop me? Just you. Don't think that you are a hero just because you have made a small name for yourself in North Blue. Chapter 94. Teach him a lesson and see who is in charge. Subscribe. Closing square bracket. Smoker didn't take Lu En's questioning and threats seriously. All he knew was strength. For people without strength, it's a waste of time to say anything. Smoker would not submit to a leader without strength. Moreover, this is not Naval Headquarters. If he really did not do well, he would not know when the report would be sent back to Naval Headquarters. If I can't even stop a small colonel like you, how can I be your superior? Dear Marines of the East Blue Branch, you have heard that your superior doesn't take me seriously. I am not bullying him on purpose because I am strong. Giving him a little lesson is also to teach you how to respect your superior. 547 Lu En caught Smoker's crime and said to everyone. While speaking, he was still emotional, and everyone could hear that Lu En was really angry. The Marines around Masagi who followed Lu En here were all worried for Smoker. They all saw how strong Lu En was. Now Smoker's provocation will probably not get any good results. And the Marines of East Blue have only seen Smoker's attack. As for the title of Marine Judge, they have seen it in the newspaper, CJBA, and they don't know Lu En's true strength. When they heard that Lu En was going to teach him a lesson, Smoker, no one took the initiative to speak up. Because in their hearts, Lu En could never win over Smoker. If he took the initiative, he would only bring shame upon himself in the end. Humph, Lu En, if you have the strength to teach me a lesson. I will apologize to you immediately if you don't respect me. If you are just talking big and don't dare to take action, don't interfere with what I do. In Smoker's opinion, Lu En would never fight with him easily. The title of Marine Judge only appeared after the title of White Hunter. Smoker became famous in the Naval Headquarters much earlier than Lu En. He didn't believe that Lu En didn't know his experience at all. If he wanted to calculate, he would definitely be able to perform well. Very good, strength is the most important thing between men. If you don't have some skills, it's hard to get respect from others. I am only good at swordsmanship, but I don't need to use a sword to deal with subordinates like you. Fists can also teach you a lesson and let you know your humbleness. Quote. Lu En added deliberately. This time, he not only wanted to test how powerful the Haki reward he got was. He also used this attack to warn all the Marine soldiers in East Blue. Let them know that as long as he is in East Blue Loguetown, he is the highest commander here. You are really good at talking. If you want to attack, just look at the book in your hand. Quote. I really think that with your ability, you can only deal with some ordinary characters. Quote. Since you can't figure it out and deliberately want to make trouble for me, just do it. Quote. Smoker seemed to be indifferent on the surface, but he was actually alert. Maintaining this alertness is also a manifestation of his ability. You can look down on your opponent at will before attacking, but you can't do it in battle. Chapter 95. Let everyone shut up. Please subscribe. Closing square bracket. Lu En was afraid that Smoker would be afraid of him and say something that would make him unable to take action. Now it seems that he was overthinking, and Smoker really fell into the trap. And all the words he said were disrespectful to him, which gave Lu En a suitable opportunity to take action completely without considering the feelings of others. There were so many Marine soldiers watching around, and their eyes were also very vicious. Can Smoker be taught a lesson at once and make everyone surrender? Now is the best opportunity to show it. When I was in North Blue, no one dared to talk to me like this. I didn't expect that I would be provoked by a subordinate like this in the small East Blue. It's time to establish the rules of the Marine. As he said, Lu En slowly walked towards Smoker. Those who wanted to dissuade him retreated to one side. They were all Marines stationed in Loguetown with Smoker. They were not worried about Smoker's safety. But they were worried that Lu En's adventure would bring trouble to himself. If Smoker goes crazy, he won't care about anything. No matter who you are, just attack. Everyone looked at Smoker's angry expression, waiting for Smoker to attack. Marine Judge. He is famous, but now he is the most famous rising star in Marine. Who doesn't want to see how the rising star falls? Fearless guy, then I'll play with you. Want to use your identity to pressure me? Let's see if you have real ability in your hand first. As he said, layers of white smoke came out of Smoker's body. The elemental ability was fully displayed. This was the first time Lu En fought with a Logia ability user, and Lu En didn't dare to have any understanding. Logia ability users are quite difficult to deal with. To kill a Logia ability user, you must have the ability to restrain the other party. Or, you have the armament Haki ability that is far superior to the other party. For the former, it is not so easy to find a way to restrain the ability of the white smoke fruit. High temperature may have some effect, but at present, there is no ability to generate high temperature. Relying on his own strength and swordsmanship, he can indeed do something. But high temperature is just a simple suppression, not a complete restraint, and it is useless. The latter, the most powerful armament Haki, is now completely possessed by Luen. What he needs is to verify his ability. Smoker is really miserable. Just when he wanted to put himself in the right position, the newcomer knew who was the cause of Loguetown. As a result, he kicked the steel plate directly. No matter what kind of opponent he faces, Smoker is the one who seizes the initiative. If he takes action later, it will put too much pressure on himself. Moreover, killing the opponent in front of him with one punch can also make everyone shut up. White Fist. The huge smoke fist is like a giant water tank. Facing Luen, who is walking slowly, it hits him directly in front of him. After the smoke is compressed, it bursts out again. Its power is more than 100 times stronger than that of an ordinary fist. If Luen couldn't bear it and died on the spot, Smoker would be in big trouble. But Luen was a commodore who made a name for himself in North Blue, so he wouldn't be unable to resist such a situation. Chapter 96, shocking the whole audience, terrifying ability. Subscribe. Closing square bracket. Even so, Smoker still held back. Smoker had never fought with the pirates of North Blue. He just knew that except for the Grand Line, the pirates of the Four Seas were not very good. What if Luen met some fancy guys? Maybe Luen's overall level was not as high as he imagined. All Smoker wanted to do was to teach Luen a lesson, and he had no intention of killing him directly. Holding back was the best way for him to 450, and to see what level Luen was at. Unexpectedly, Luen did not dodge at all, but raised his right hand and grabbed Smoker's white smoke fist. What an arrogant guy. Do you think you can stop me? What a joke. Smoker saw Luen's actions, and his anger rose directly. If he was given another chance to choose, he would definitely go all out and would not hold back against a reckless commodore. Looking at Luen's appearance, with a nasty face, it didn't look like he needed to hold back. It would be better to give him a quick death and kill him directly. He knows his own strength. It's over, this time it's going to be a big deal. As Colonel Smoker so angry, he actually came up and got serious. If we hurt the Commodore of the headquarters, won't we be punished? Let alone the Commodore, even if the Rear Admiral comes, he may not be a match for Colonel Smoker. With a boss like this, our life is really hard. Luen Commodore should have some strength, right? He won't be killed directly, right? When everyone saw Smoker's move, they were all dumbfounded. Everyone thought that Smoker was just talking and would not use the same method to deal with pirates to deal with Luen. Now it seems that he really dares to do anything and will not be timid at all. Among the people watching on the scene, I am afraid that only Luen's people did not change their expressions. What is this small scene? It's just a simple battle. Luen is someone who has fought with Masagi Vice Admiral. Even Masagi Vice Admiral couldn't do anything to Luen Commodore. He ended up being exhausted and defeated. He was just a colonel of a small East Blue Loguetown. No matter what kind of troublemaker you are, or what kind of Logia ability user you are. How could you possibly be Luen's opponent? Bang. The next moment, the scene in front of them completely shocked all the Marine soldiers. The seemingly powerful white smoke fist was actually directly counted in the hand minister. That's right, he just clenched it tightly in his hand, without any intention of relaxing. Even the most powerful people could only watch helplessly, and Smoker's move became Luen's opportunity to counterattack. How is this possible? Colonel Smoker's smoke fruit didn't work. Isn't it impossible to capture the ability of white smoke? Why can Luen Commodore catch it so easily? What did he do? Tashigi has been following Smoker. He is quite familiar with Smoker's abilities and knows the characteristics of the white smoke fruit's abilities. Smoker can easily attack others, and others cannot touch Smoker through the smoke. Therefore, many pirates seem fierce, but in front of Smoker, they can't even touch his clothes. Chapter 97. It's time for me to show off. Please subscribe. Closing square bracket. This kind of thing should have been destined. Why did it not count when it happened in front of Luen? Tashigi's strength was not known. Armament Haki could capture Logia's body. The Marine soldiers around him naturally did not know. Seeing the scene in front of them, everyone was dumbfounded. Caught. How did he do it? Oh my god, he was not knocked away, and he blocked it directly. Impossible. Is Luen Commodore's strength far above Colonel Smoker? So, who is teaching whom today? It's bad. Colonel Smoker is in trouble now. Is Luen Commodore really that powerful? No wonder the headquarters wants to transfer him. Such 29 people are just the base commander of North Blue, it's terrible. The topic of the scene completely turned to Luen. Since Smoker came to Loguetown, no one has seen him at a disadvantage. I didn't expect to see it in front of Luen today. Moreover, relying on the devil fruit ability, Luen still completely took it. Lu En's attack did not show any ability, it was just physical strength. Smoker knew what ordinary people could not see. He was from the headquarters after all, so even if he was not proficient in the skills, he knew what was going on. What other ability could it be that captured his body so easily? Armament Haki. You have already mastered Haki. How old are you, and you can reach such a level? Smoker looked at Lu En in disbelief, wondering how Lu En did it. If Lu En hadn't made a move, he might never have thought that Lu En had already mastered Armament Haki. At this time, Smoker only knew some basics. If he had mastered it, his current rank would not be like this. Is that the only evaluation? Smoker, it seems that you don't know what happened at all. You want to show me your power, but it seems that there is no chance. Quote. Think about it carefully, how are you going to apologize to me later? No one I caught has ever been able to run away. Lu En's eyes changed, and he put away his previous playful attitude. Since it is a duel, you must seize the opportunity and not give the other party any chance to escape. Even a little chance is merciful to the enemy and too cruel to yourself. First of all, you must know the opponent's movements, and then it is time to test your own strength. What nonsense are you talking about? Don't think that you can fight me just because you have mastered Armament Haki. Logia ability users are not as easy to deal with as you think. It seems that you have some strength, and I just misjudged you before. Next, I won't let you fool around so easily. Smoker wanted to retract his smoke fist, but found that he seemed to be imprisoned. He wanted to struggle, but he couldn't get away at all. He could only be locked tightly by Lu En, and his performance of fear was really unbelievable. Smoker just boasted to Lu En, and now he might have to slap himself in the face. Obviously it has already been elementalized in advance. Chapter 98. Give the arrogant guy a little lesson. Please subscribe. Closing square bracket. Has your Armament Haki strength surpassed that of a Vice Admiral? Otherwise, how could it affect my actions? Why is this the case? Smoker couldn't figure it out. Lu En is just a Commodore. Even if he mastered Armament Haki, he couldn't have such strength. If the strength wasn't too high, how could it affect his early action? Why aren't you arrogant anymore? Run, didn't you say that Logia users can easily run away? Why aren't you running now? Tisk tisk tisk, it seems that you are just a show-off. It's no different from the opponents I met before. Lu En saw all of Smoker's performance. He could naturally figure out Smoker's current psychological activities and deliberately put some pressure on him. Let him doubt his own actions first, and then everything he does will be logical. Damn, you, opening square bracket ... quote. You actually have such a terrible Haki. At the beginning, I underestimated the enemy. Smoker's forehead was covered with cold sweat, and he waved his left fist and attacked Lu En again. If he doesn't take the initiative to attack now, he doesn't know what Lu En will do if he continues. This is his last chance to fight back, and Smoker must not waste the opportunity. Haha, now you remember to fight back. Do you think I will give you this chance? You underestimate me. I won't make the same mistake twice. I just gave you a chance to perform, but it was a pity there was no surprise. Next, let's watch my performance, and you will be the supporting role. Oh, no, it should be said to be a sandbag, which is more appropriate. Lu En sneered and was not going to continue to watch. What he wanted was for everyone to see his performance. He was not a supporting role, so there was no need to act with them. Through his own observation, Smoker at this time was not a powerful guy. It was only because of his ability of Logia Devil Fruit that he could dominate such a small place. If he was placed in the Grand Line, he would not be able to escape easily if he met a pirate with a bounty of over 100 million. Lu En felt that it was meaningless to take him as his younger brother without giving him a little lesson. He must be made aware of his own weaknesses before considering growth. The two complement each other, and there must be no accidents, and the scale must not be misjudged. Lu En exerted a little force, and Smoker flew backwards. The smoke connected into a ball became Smoker's weakness. In the past, he used these abilities that he was proud of to constantly put pressure on others. Unexpectedly, it has now become his own pressure, Qian Ma Jiao, which is really terrible. What's the matter with this strange power? Is he a special race? Completely irresistible. Smoker felt Lu En's horror at this moment. Under the pull of the strange power, there was no room for resistance. He could only fly in his direction. In addition to raising smoke and protecting his body, Smoker could not do anything else. Chapter 99. One Punch Lesson, shocking the whole audience. Please subscribe. Closing square bracket. Lu En is not an ordinary person. After catching the opportunity, he will not give it up easily. Otherwise, wouldn't his efforts be completely in vain? What he needs is to see Smoker completely defeated. After seeing Smoker's body being caught, Lu En pulled him in front of him. All Armament Haki burst out. After possessing the top-level Armament Haki, Lu En still needs to know how to control his own strength. Smoker now is not a strong man. If he is killed by mistake, it will not be so easy to end it later. Bang! The power of the explosion directly hit Smoker's abdomen. Smoker only felt that his eyes went black and a mouthful of blood spurted out directly. The whole person was like a cannonball in the next second, and directly hit the warship on the side. The thick warship was made of special materials. Ordinary attacks should not be able to hurt the warship at all. It was just the power of the fist that directly penetrated the warship from one end to the other. Such a terrible power is simply unimaginable. As Smoker's subordinate, he fully understood his true strength before. Today, he only exerted a little bit of his strength, and was beaten like this by Luen who came. How could anyone believe that Logia's ability users are so vulnerable? This is the level. You dare to challenge me? You guys, go and fish your colonel out. He is an ability user. If he falls into the sea, there is no possibility of survival. If you want to watch him die, you can do nothing. Quote. Luen said to the Marines. His punch was enough to make Smoker lose his fighting power. And he controlled 1/3 of his power to explode, which produced such an effect. If armament Haki and power were used up, Smoker of this level would be dead. The purpose was to convince CJAJ, Smoker, not to kill him. If he really killed him, it would be difficult to report his subsequent actions. At this time and juncture, Smoker needed to cooperate with him and do a lot of things. Without Smoker, he might have to do too many things himself. Finding a qualified thug brother, Luen has also spent a lot of effort, and even took action. Quick, Luen Commodore has spoken. Rescue Colonel Smoker and don't let him drift away. Luen Commodore's order, I don't think anyone dares to disobey. That's right, do as Luen Commodore says, it's absolutely right. Everyone at the scene saw Luen after seeing Luen's performance, they no longer dared to have the slightest doubt. Luen's reputation was earned by his own fighting ability. It was not a false reputation at all. Smoker provoked Luen completely because of his personality. Next, if the subordinates were implicated, these subordinates would be truly wronged. Now, everyone wanted to show themselves in front of Luen. At least let Luen see that they still obeyed the orders of their superiors. You all saw it, right? This is just a little bit of our Luen's strength. If Luen really shows off his power, the whole port will be set up for you. Ha ha ha, you deserve it, a colonel is so arrogant. Chapter 100 Beyond the Admiral's Existence. Subscribe please. Closing square bracket. Today, our Luen Commodore is in a good mood, so we only teach him a lesson. If any of you who are blind still want to die, Luen will send you to hell. The soldiers following Luen were all arrogant. He was able to knock the Logia user of the headquarters away with one punch, leaving him with no ability to fight back. Luen's actions completely proved his strength. Whoever wants to touch Luen is not able to do it so easily now. The brothers under him wanted to show off, but Luen did not stop them. Just like Smoker wanted to show off to himself just now, but no Marine came out to stop him. Obviously, in their eyes, they were more reluctant to offend Smoker than to offend Luen Commodore. The reason is simple, whoever has the harder fist will be obeyed. After coming to this world, Luen likes the rules of this world. There are not so many lines of preaching. Whoever has the harder fist is the one who is right. You can't argue with others, and you can't have the connections that others have. But as long as you can fight, you have the final right of interpretation. At present, Smoker's subordinates all listen to Luen's orders, which is the best interpretation of this rule. These people's speed of work is still good. Smoker was salvaged back soon. Even though he received serious injuries and several ribs were broken. For Logia users, it is not a fatal injury. Give them a little time, they will recover slowly. It's just that the pain caused by the impact is not so easy to eliminate. At least torture Smoker for a while, so that he can thoroughly remember what happened today, before it can be effective. Colonel Smoker, what do you think of my combat ability now? Remember, as long as I am on this island for one day, you can only be my subordinate. If you don't disobey my orders next time, I will make you disappear from Loguetown completely, and you don't have to be a Marine anymore. Quote. Challenging an incompetent boss is not a big deal. People who are taught a lesson by a powerful boss and still don't know how to obey and repent are not qualified to be warriors. Luen said the important things in a few words, because what Smoker had thought before. Please give me flowers. Now after hearing these words, there is really no other emotion except respect for Luen. I know. Smoker replied weakly. He needed the support of several Marine soldiers to barely maintain a standing posture. He himself did not expect that he was so confident in his own strength. 0.00. But under Luen's hands, he did not withstand even one attack. Let alone people like Rear Admiral Commodore, even if it is the combat power of Vice Admiral, Smoker thinks it is impossible to do it. Luen can do this, which can only show his true strength. It is very likely that he has surpassed Vice Admiral. A teenager has surpassed the accuracy of Vice Admiral. Smoker didn't even dare to think, would Luen's full-strength attack state have reached the level of Admiral? After such a reckless action before, he has begun to doubt himself. Is this all he can do? Does he need someone to support him to stand? From what I see, his ability is just average. Chapter 101 Luen's Strength. Subscribe. Closing square bracket. Luen didn't just say it casually, but deliberately said it to embarrass Smoker. If you can't even bear a little bit of pain, it won't be of much use to stay by his side. He wanted to see how Smoker behaved after being defeated. Only those with a strong heart have the possibility of moving forward. He was also willing to believe that Smoker was not a person who would give up easily. Let me go. 263. Smoker heard Lu En's words, and his stubborn side showed up. Even though the injuries on his body were enough to make him uncomfortable, he still insisted on standing in place, staring at Lu En fiercely. That look seemed to say that sooner or later he would surpass Lu En and let Lu En taste the same taste. Facing this provocation, Lu En was not angry at all, and even found it very interesting. It seems that he was right to take action, at least let Smoker know his strength and give him a blow. Isn't it possible to stand? Act with me in the future. If you want to retaliate against me, you must first improve your strength. Your current strength is nothing in my eyes. It is just the level of an ordinary passerby. Did you hear me? Lu En asked again, deliberately irritating Smoker's nerves. He knew that Smoker was the person who was most afraid of being hit. He stimulated him and let him know how much difference there was between his upper and lower joints. However, Smoker was still in his own emotions at this time. After hearing Lu En's words, he did not give him a positive response at all. It seems that you are not going to respond to me positively. Forget it. I originally wanted you to be by my side and learn Haki so that you can improve faster. I am being sentimental. You should continue to be moved by yourself. How can a self-satisfied guy become a master? I am not interested in people who are knocked down by one punch. Quote. Lu En said casually, deliberately challenging Smoker's nerves. Lu En Commodore, are you really willing to teach me? It was my problem just now. I didn't know your strength and blindly thought you were an ordinary person who had a little luck. My thinking is narrow. Lu En Commodore, I'm sorry. Smoker bowed deeply, and because of his physical condition, he almost fell to the ground. His performance shocked all the Marine soldiers in the audience. What is Colonel Smoker doing? Is he apologizing? Oh my god, this is even rarer than him being defeated. He never bowed his head in the Naval Headquarters, right? What happened today? Lu En Commodore is too strong, his strength is unquestionable. Is it so easy to change a colonel? Just one punch is enough. I really didn't expect that Colonel Smoker would bow his head. Quote. The scene went completely crazy. Shocked by Smoker's performance, and even more shocked by Lu En's strength. Hey, this is our Lu En Commodore, who dares not to give us Commodore face. Too cool. Even the White Hunter Colonel Smoker was defeated. We really didn't follow the wrong person. If you continue to maintain such a high level, won't it be a matter of time before you become an admiral in the future? Hold on to Lu En Commodore's thighs, and you must perform well on this mission. Chapter 102 Smoker's Strict Requirements. Subscribe. Closing square bracket. Lu En's behavior has attracted the attention of many people. There were many small pirates hiding in the dark at the port. They wanted to see if they could have a chance to capture the marine judge to increase their bounty. After seeing him punch Smoker away, the small pirates all became scared. Anyone who dares to stand up and provoke Lu En is simply looking for death. Take me to your base and have a good rest first. I'll tell you what East Blue is doing later. Whether I can teach you Haki depends on your performance in the next action. Remember, opportunities are not given by others, but you fight for them yourself. I'm not so kind to teach a useless waste. 29. Apart from anything else, Lu En has played the Pua well. Even if Smoker doesn't want to do what Lu En says, there is no way now. Such a great and tempting reward was placed directly in front of Smoker, how could he refuse? As long as he agreed, he would have the opportunity to learn Haki. How many people want to fight for such an opportunity, but they all have no way. Now Lu En just said it casually and promised Smoker this. Smoker is also a hardworking man. What he wants to do most is naturally to become stronger. With such a mentality, it is easier to be exploited. Lu En grasped this point, so he knew that Smoker had no way to refuse. Don't worry, Lu En Commodore. No matter what task is assigned to me, I can complete it no matter how difficult it is. I will never let you down, and I will never let you down. Today you have thoroughly let me see my limits. It turns out that the strength of Haki can directly affect the battle situation. I didn't realize this when I was in the headquarters before. Quote. Smoker's reply to Lu En was exactly what Lu En wanted to hear. Tashigi, where is Tashigi? No, I can meet you in half an hour. Smoker thought of the right person and started shouting to the back. It will take me at most an hour. Meet Lu En 200 Commodore. I'm Marine Sergeant Tashigi, a subordinate of Colonel Smoker. If all Marine branches were as knowledgeable about the rules as she was, the days with Lu En would be more comfortable. Your attitude is good. If you had this attitude earlier, it wouldn't have been so troublesome just now. Tashigi held her glasses and hurried to Lu En, saluting him. The best way was to use the power in front of him to make the other party surrender directly. She was very knowledgeable about the rules. Leave the matter of going to the base to her. He seemed to have no strength to speak. Can we go to your base? Lu En was quite satisfied with what Smoker said. He wanted to make a strong man obey. If he was asked to lead the way for himself, I don't know what would happen next. If you can't, go down and rest. Find someone to lead the way for us. Now, I understand it completely. Colonel Smoker, I'm here. Even though he was seriously injured, Smoker still had high requirements for himself and did not change. Commander Lu En, this is my capable subordinate Tashigi. Lu En could see that Smoker was already struggling. Here, Chapter 103. Don't be nervous, it's not that scary. Please subscribe. Closing square bracket. No need, half an hour is not enough to recover. Go and rest directly, Tashigi will take care of me, that's enough. Come see me tomorrow, I don't have much time. The task has been assigned to me, I must complete it in the shortest time possible. If you are still sick tomorrow, I won't give you a chance. What Lu En said was not a joke, but he really thought so and would definitely do it. Masagi didn't give him much time. If he delayed, it might not be so easy for him to get out later. Not wanting to do it himself, leaving it to Smoker is of course the best thing. Yes, Lu En Commodore, I will prepare it immediately. The money is good, the food is available at the base, but suddenly there are so many. Yes, Lu En Commodore, I will be there as soon as possible tomorrow. But to deal with the Arlong pirates, Smoker doesn't need to go all out. It may take some time to prepare, and it is not prepared in advance. What's wrong? Is it difficult? Logia's ability is enough to deal with it. I'm not that scary. Just do what I say and there will be no problem. If you don't do it well, you don't have to stay at the base. Lu En Commodore, please follow me. I am afraid that not everyone wants to enjoy, but they just don't have the power. Okay, don't be nervous. After seeing this, Tashigi hesitated and said. She did not expect that Lu En Commodore's first order was to open the meal for everyone. Lu En just magnified everyone's feelings and did not do other things excessively. Also, I'm a little hungry. There should be food in your base, right? Tashigi, you will cooperate with Lu En in whatever he needs to do. I should have thought more about it, and not using such a heavy hand just now is the best way to deal with it. Tashigi was very nervous, she knew that Colonel Smoker was not Lu En Commodore's opponent. Let everyone know that everyone will weigh it in their hearts. Thinking of this, Lu En even regretted it a little. Speaking of which, the pomp of his Commodore is only possible with the support of his brothers. 1 hour. Start counting when you arrive at the base. Giving Smoker a day to recover now, it may not be so easy to be completely cured. Prepare more delicious food and drinks to entertain my brothers. Loguetown is not big, the base is very close to here, we can arrive soon. I hope my performance can make up for what happened just now. No matter what it is, just do it according to what Lu En Commodore says. Smoker now said that he was even considering Lu En everywhere. In addition to enjoying himself, Lu En has not forgotten his brothers who follow him. My brothers are also, they have been wandering with me for a long time. Quote. If they are given the power, they will definitely do it. Yes, Colonel Smoker. It was even more impossible for her to compete with him. There was no other way except to listen to him. They are all people who support him. So, as long as he has the opportunity, he must do something for his brothers. Chapter 104. Bad news for the town. Subscribe please. Lu En said it very directly, and did not leave any room for Tashigi. If he was lenient with her, she might not have offered him. It would not be so easy to tell her to do other things later. The current situation is that GN has made full preparations in advance. If he continues, he may fall behind a lot of content. Now he must seize the opportunity in front of him, which is also the best moment for him to prove his status. Yes, Lu En Commodore, I will definitely do it well, and there will be no trouble. Is there anything else you need to tell me? I can do it at the same time. Tashigi immediately cheered up and knew that he had to do it well. Especially seeing Lu En Commodore directly defeat Colonel Smoker. Now Colonel Smoker is ready to follow Lu En Commodore. Doesn't it mean that in the future, he will only work under Lu En Commodore? He needs to give him enough good performances to make Lu En Commodore remember her thoroughly. Don't be too nervous. I'll tell you if you need to do something else. CJBB, lead the way first, there are more and more people around. 1. It's not a good thing to continue to be surrounded like this. If we scare those pirates, they may not dare to come out to make trouble. It would be a good thing if we can deal with a few pirates this time. That's what I think. I don't know what the specific situation will be. Lu En said as he walked out first, regardless of Tashigi's reaction. Tashigi led the way for Lu En and kept looking back. Wanted to see what Lu En's reaction was. Lu En didn't do anything, but Tashigi was still sweating. I don't know if it's because Lu En's aura is too strong, and this is the effect. Soon, everyone came to the marine base in Loguetown. Tashigi also prepared everything according to Lu En's words. When everyone took a break and started to eat, Lu En didn't waste time and found Wo Sichi again. Lu En Commodore, is there anything I can do? I have already arranged the meals. Colonel Smoker has gone back to rest, everything is done. Tashigi said nervously, fearing that something was not done well. That's why he answered the question so nervously. Obviously he was not confident. Well, it's done well. I've said it before, don't be so scared. I'm not a hot-tempered person, I won't fight with anyone casually. I asked you to come here because there are other things I need you to do. Go look through the information of your pirates, and find out the information of the dragon pirates in East Blue Coco Village. Why have the dragon pirates been in East Blue for so long, but you haven't taken any action? Now I need to come all the way here to deal with this little guy. Don't you know that the dragon was originally a pirate from the New World? Such a fishman guy, coming here is simply bad news for the town of East Blue. You can live in peace, but what about those ordinary people? How should they live? What on earth did you do in East Blue to deserve to be called a Marine? After saying this, Lu En showed an angry look. Chapter 105. Negligence. Subscribe. Closing square bracket. Just finished speaking, she didn't show any overly irritable behavior. She started to increase the intensity directly, which made Tashigi nervous again. Information of the pirate group in Cocoa West Village. Why don't I remember seeing it? Lu En Commodore, wait a moment, I'll find it now. When Tashigi has nothing to do, she likes to look at the information of the East Blue pirates. In this way, even if she meets them in different places in the future, she can recognize their identities at the first time. As for the East Blue pirates, she dare not say that she can recite them by heart. At least when she said it, she must have an impression of it, and it is definitely impossible that it appeared blindly. But when Lu En said it just now, Wo Sichi was indeed stunned. Because she had never heard of the name of the dragon pirates in her impression. There must be a problem in some link, no wonder Lu En Commodore came here to perform the mission. Tashigi came to the database, which was piled with a lot of information and covered with dust. Tashigi didn't take it seriously at all and started to search constantly. On the other side, Lu En sat on the leather chair, closed his eyes and started to enjoy himself, constantly thinking about the next action. Now that he had the right thugs, he just had to go out with them. But according to the information, he was a team that had been destroyed, so it was naturally impossible for him to appear again to fight. I thought I could rest for half an hour, but in less than 10 minutes, Tashigi, covered in dust, ran out stumbling. Such a thing happened in East Blue. Whose fault is it? But the information says that the dragon pirates were destroyed 2 years ago. As the base commander, of course he has to live in the highest standard. I see. It seems that there are also members of the dragon pirates among the Marines. For us, he must be an ordinary little character. But for the people, it is a nightmare. Lu En looked at the room not far away. It seemed to be the highest standard. It should be Smoker's residence. Tashigi just heard what Lu En said, and it was clear that the dragon pirates were still hiding. I am very worried that Commodore Lu En has to come all the way to solve our problems. As the base commander, he didn't even figure out such things. Please give me flowers. It was not explicitly said who was responsible. In fact, there was no need to say more. It can be felt very clearly. Sorting out information has always been my task. Quote. Of course, it should be the base commander's responsibility. Tashigi did not shirk responsibility and came out to talk to Wong with his eyes wide open. Otherwise, no one would cover for him, and he could be so arrogant for so many years. Why would such information be sent back? This was also sent back by the colonel of a base somewhere in East Blue. What will be the consequences for a pirate from the New World to go to East Blue? Don't you know the seriousness? It was my fault for jumping to conclusions without knowing the facts clearly. I am also responsible. It is also my fault. I found the information of the dragon pirates. This is also the reason why there was no news at all from the base in Loguetown. Lu En Commodore, if you blame me, please let me be punished together. Found it. Lu En Commodore. Chapter 106 An Unexpected Apprenticeship. Please subscribe. Closing square bracket. It's not your fault that there are bad guys among the Marines. Forget it, I'll just treat it as a vacation for myself. Dealing with the dragon pirates is not just Smoker's job. You should go with them, deal with dragon's men, and improve your combat experience. You won't grow if you always stay in the base. You are a swordsman, right? I can teach you swordsmanship when I have time. Perform well. Lu En said casually, but in Tashigi's heart, it was not the case. It was completely because Commodore Lu En saw her ability and knew that she was a swordsman. He was willing to accept her as an apprentice and teach her swordsmanship. Plop. Before Lu En could react, Tashigi knelt on the ground. It seemed that the action was very decisive, without any hesitation at all. This made Lu En doubt his judgment. His tone was a little heavier, but was he going to scare a little girl to kneel on the ground? No matter how you think about it, it's not necessary. There is no need to kneel down when maintaining a relationship between superiors and subordinates. Kri. Master, are you really willing to teach me swordsmanship? Master Lu En, I don't know what to say. My swordsmanship is really poor, and I know this myself. Because I have never had a teacher to guide me, I have been practicing on my own. Quote. I didn't expect to hear Master Lu En say this today. I'm so excited that I don't know what to say. If there's anything you need me to do, Master Lu En can tell me. I promise to do as you say. From today on, as your subordinate, I will do my duty as a disciple. Quote. Tashigi spoke his thoughts truthfully, and Lu En finally understood what was going on. It turned out that what he said just now made Tashigi mistakenly think that he was going to accept Woshichi as his apprentice. He actually didn't mean it at all. I don't know what Tashigi's brain circuit is, and he suddenly said such a thing. If I think about it carefully, if I explain it now, it will be Woshichi who will be embarrassed. Calculating Tashigi's true strength, he is indeed a potential stock in the future. He is not a top swordsman, but he has good combat power. If I really want to take him under my command and make him my apprentice, it is not impossible. If we really take action, we have to see how Tashigi performs, maybe there will be other gains. Hehe, it seems that you are smart and understand what I mean. My conditions for accepting apprentices are very harsh, and they have not been completely determined yet. This trip to East Blue and the action against the Dragon Pirates are your chance to show your ability. If you don't perform well, I will regret it at any time. Quote. I am your boss, and that won't change. You can't do anything to me. You understand what I mean, you should do your best. Lu En left a way for herself, at least to make it look like this matter is not so smooth. Otherwise, it will be a bad ending. At least, it will give Tashigi a little bit of room to think, so that she knows that things are not that simple. Chapter 107 with a different halo. Please subscribe. Closing square bracket. I understand, Master Lu En. No, that's not right, it's still Commodore Lu En now. You can't really call me master until I complete the test. For others, this may be a task, but for me, it will definitely be a test. Preparatory master, is there anything else I need to do now? One after another, his subordinates jumped out and were willing to take on the responsibilities he needed to take on. Of course, he was happy. Nothing, I want to take a rest. Quote. Because at this moment, in Tashigi's eyes, Lu En has begun to carry a set of aura. He was even willing to do so, giving them the opportunity to show themselves, for fear that what he did would block their way. Go see Smoker for me, and tell him to get well as soon as possible. As long as it's your arrangement, I will do it immediately. It's true that you always ask yourself, I will do what you say. It's just that the man didn't want to say it. Among other Marine leaders, it's impossible to have your good temper. It was just a simple order, but it started to change in Tashigi's ears. I don't know what Tashigi was thinking, but he could keep connecting it to character. Sometimes I just say it casually, there is no other deep meaning, don't make random guesses. Yes, I know that Lu En Commodore doesn't like to praise himself. Lu En Commodore, you injured Colonel Smoker, and everyone knows it's his own problem. After taking the initiative to say it, Lu En also felt that his mood was much better. I believe Smoker must still be suffering now. And you are right, I promise to make everyone respect Lu En Commodore in the future. You just taught him a lesson, and didn't hurt his life. Lu En Commodore, I feel your generosity now, and I really didn't know much about you before. I will definitely spend more time in the future to slowly understand Lu En Commodore. Anyway, he absolutely can't do it, and he is constantly avoiding his responsibilities. Lu En may never understand what kind of mentality a person who tries to show himself has. Lu En didn't let Tashigi continue to think about it, but the result of thinking about it was that there was no benefit. Obviously, he was worried that his thugs couldn't go online, so he said this and asked Tashigi to go and see. Tashigi said this, and it sounded a little strange. Lu En Commodore, Colonel Smoker didn't respect you before. But there is not much time for him. He must recover as soon as possible and take action early. Why don't good subordinates do their own things and observe and understand what they do? Okay, stop thinking about it. Go and do what I say, don't do the opposite. If Smoker was really hurt, if he thought about it, he might feel uncomfortable. Tashigi now has motivation, and he can't wait to do something and show himself in front of Lu En. But you're still thinking about whether he's injured or not, and want his subordinates to care about him. It seems that no matter what he said, Tashigi could understand the meaning of it. Chapter 108 Smokers Waiting. Subscribe. Closing square bracket. After Lu En had a simple day's rest, he woke up comfortably the next morning. If he could lie flat all the time and let others do things, he would be really comfortable. Unfortunately, many things still need to be done by himself. If it were someone else, there would be no way to complete it. When he opened the door, the first thing he saw was Smoker, standing straight in front of the door. Why didn't he sleep so early in the morning and came to stand at his door? How is your injury? Didn't I tell you to have a good rest? Do you think your body is strong enough and want to challenge me again? After seeing Smoker, Lu En asked curiously. At this early hour, most of the other Marine soldiers in the base were sleeping. Lu En was considered to be one of the early risers, but Smoker got up earlier than him, and he didn't know how long he had been here. It's not a challenge. I know I'm not your opponent now. My injury is nothing. I'm here to take orders. Quote. Lu En Commodore, when are we leaving? I'm angry now and want to find some pirates to fight. Quote. Since it's a mission, it should be completed as quickly as possible, right? Smoker said it quite directly, not hiding his inner anger at all. He was not angry at Lu En's behavior, but at his own powerlessness. In front of Lu En, he didn't even have the basic defense and was knocked down directly by a punch. Except for Marine Admiral, he really couldn't think of anyone who could get rid of him with a punch. After knowing that he couldn't resist, Smoker wanted to stay by Lu En's side and quickly learn his skills. The best way to defeat a person is to learn all his skills, and then use his skills to constantly enrich your feathers. Lu En certainly knew what Smoker was thinking, but he didn't want to pay attention to it and gave him this opportunity. If he didn't want to give this opportunity, Smoker wouldn't be able to stand in front of him at all. You are quite direct. Do you want to find some pirates to fight? I saw that you were still indifferent to me when I asked you to catch pirates before. You obviously have the best talent, Logia demon fruit power. Quote. But I have wasted the power of this fruit on you. Which Logia user is still a colonel? Lu En mocked without hesitation, not giving Smoker any face. If it weren't for his personality, he would not be called Rear Admiral now. At least he must have reached the level of Commodore, and it would be impossible for him to fall into the current predicament. At the beginning, Smoker felt that he had reached a certain position, which did not help him at all. He was also a person who did not want to be constrained, so he did not take the initiative to accommodate his temper. Now it seems that it is really his own problem that caused such a big trouble. If he chose to accommodate at the beginning, maybe Li Lihao could have mastered more resources. He could also get the teachings of the strong people in the Naval Headquarters. Do I still need Lu En to say it? Lu En is accurate. You are right. It is my problem that has led to my own strength being limited. If I stayed in the headquarters at the beginning, I would have met opponents and mastered resources. It is definitely not like now in a place like East Blue, where so many things are happening. Chapter 109 Wasting everyone's time. Please subscribe. Closing square bracket. Smoker could still hear the meaning behind his words. Lu En didn't really want to hit him. Instead, he told him what the current result was. In the past, both in front of Lu En and in front of Smoker, they had a bright future. One of them went from the 4 Seas to Naval Headquarters, and the other went from Naval Headquarters to the 4 Seas. Completely different choices. It seems that you have at least matured a lot in your thinking, which is still good. This beating was not in vain. You have to learn to be smarter in the future. Go and inform your people. I don't have that much time to waste. Let's set off today to defeat the dragon pirates and completely destroy them. Just deal with the enemy, and leave the rest to me. Remember, your opponent is only dragon, and the rest will be left to your subordinates and my subordinates. I need a team where everyone has their own combat effectiveness, not just one person with combat experience. Quote. If we go to war with the 4 Emperors group of New World in the future, ordinary soldiers will suffer even more if they don't even have the ability to protect themselves. Overprotecting the people around them will make them miss the best time to grow. Lu En expressed his thoughts, which shocked Smoker again. He had never thought about this before. It was said suddenly, which gave him a side idea. I really didn't think of this. That's true. If you look at it in the long term, they need to be trained. It seems that I need to learn more than just Haki. As a Marine officer, I also have some shortcomings. Commodore Lu En, I am very grateful for your appearance and for letting me see my current situation in time. If it were someone else, they might not say so much to me. Smoker surrendered from the bottom of his heart, not just saying it. It's very easy to defeat someone. As long as your combat power is stronger than the opponent, it's fine. There is no need for other skills, CJBB, the most direct expression. But it is not so easy to win a person's heart. Not only do you have to have a stronger strength than the other party, but you also have to be willing to share your experience. This is the skill that Lu En has gradually mastered along the way. Now teaching Smoker little by little is actually helping yourself. Give yourself a chance to conquer Smoker and let him be your deputy willingly in the future. Very good, it seems that I don't need to be more straightforward. You also understand what I am saying now, that's good. Go, get ready, I don't want to waste everyone's time. Lu En saw Smoker's reaction and felt that he didn't say it in vain. He can still feel the changes in Smoker's heart. This time, Lu En felt that he was not tired in vain, and there were still many things to do. Yes, Commodore, I will arrange it immediately and let everyone be ready. Leave a small number of people to guard the base. Because of me, Loguetown has been very peaceful recently, and there are no serious pirates. Quote. It's enough to leave a dozen people behind, and the rest will all participate in this operation. Chapter 110 All arrangements have been made. Subscribe please. Closing square bracket. Smoker is relatively familiar with the situation in Loguetown and knows how to make the most reasonable arrangements. He may not have much say in other matters, but the affairs of Loguetown should indeed be left to him. Well, you must know these things better than me, so just arrange them. You don't need to report to me about small matters, you make your own decisions. Although I am higher in rank than you, you are still the base commander of Loguetown. You must be the one who makes the final decision. Do you think I look very idle? Since everyone is ready, Lu En will naturally not delay, and cannot hinder the time of action because of his performance. Lu En is the person who is most afraid of trouble, how could he take the initiative to find trouble? Smoker maintained his own style. Point 0. Momoshiki has selected so many Marines for Lu En, it is inevitable that there will be Momoshiki's spies. Too much interference will create a troublesome side. Even if he was under Lu En's orders, he still had a lot of energy hidden in his heart. But it's useless to regret now. Momoshiki must have hated me, and it's not so easy to change. I understand, it seems that Commodore Lu En is very principled and sticks to his principles more than I thought. I will take care of it myself and won't let you down. Quote. Lu En expressed his thoughts, which were also his true thoughts. If he was given another chance, he would rather choose not to be so cruel at that time. Do you really want to take care of everything? Even the personnel and warships that were arranged to travel together were arranged. I don't know if it is a paradise for pirates, but it must be Lu En's paradise. If I can disintegrate some of their loyalty to Momoshiki in a short period of time. I have to say that Smoker's action and execution are still commendable. It may even backfire, because Smoker still has a rebellious side. If there is, it must have been cleared by Teoman long ago. Just waiting for Lu En's words, and they can set sail at any time. So when there are spies, Lu En still has to be more direct. It might be a better way to save some face for Momoshiki. Please give flowers. Because everyone has their own mission and what they stick to. Lu En didn't say much, but let his men prepare and wait for departure at any time. If Smoker is restricted in everything, it may not be a good thing. There is really nothing fun in Loguetown. It is a small place and there is nothing special. In East Blue, no one can threaten Lu En's strength. It is better to go directly to East Blue and strike a dimensionality reduction blow. But if for Momoshiki is a very loyal person, and I really can't change it, and I haven't thought about changing these things. I don't have so much time to waste, just make your own judgment. Last time, I defeated Momoshiki on the ship. Lu En thought about it and felt that he was still too reckless. There can't be any slackness, lest Momoshiki find trouble with me again after knowing it. Then this person must be unreliable. Lu En believes that there will be no such person around Momoshiki. It was less than an hour in the morning, and everything was ready. It is naturally good to treat your subordinates. Chapter 111 Knowing Her Full Strength. Please subscribe. Closing square bracket. Smoker waited at the port for a long time and finally saw Lu En. Lu En didn't say much, just waved his hand, and everyone boarded the ship and started sailing. When he came to Loguetown before, the unexpected sign in reward made Lu En's strength soar. Maybe he can trigger the reward in other places in East Blue. If he has some other abilities, it won't be long before Naval Headquarters will have no rival. 843. At present, except for those above Marine Vice Admiral, he can be regarded as an opponent. Others are no longer taken seriously, and demon fruit power is not worth caring about. In this world, devil fruit ability is just icing on the cake. The real powerful ability is Haki. Now he already has the top armament Haki. Of course, it's not the time to be domineering. He needs to master the observation Haki and Conqueror's Haki of the same level before he can be considered the best in the world. Half a day later, after seeing Lu En's eyes, she knew that it was useless for her to say anything. Tashigi prepared so much early, and Lu En kept watching her busy. It must be said that Tashigi is indeed capable of preparing these things. That's great, Tashigi, you are thoughtful. How is it? Just do what I say. Quote. I thought she was busy with her own personal affairs, but she didn't expect that she was preparing these things. The speed of the Marine Warship is really fast. It will take at most half a day to reach the destination. Okay, it's rare that you have this thought. I don't know how to teach you. It's quite good, and it suits Lu En's appetite. Taking advantage of this opportunity, she might be able to grow up. She should not waste this opportunity and should perform well. Tashigi wanted to say something. Moreover, Tashigi really wanted to improve her strength. This surprised Lu En a little, and she didn't expect her to do this. Tashigi doesn't look like a person who is familiar with the mind, and can consider this step. Lu En did not disappoint Tashigi's preparation, and ate and drank on the spot. Take out your sword and attack me. It was rare that Lu En had the opportunity and was willing to teach her. Z's. You also know my strength, even if you use all your strength, you can't hurt me. Try it, I just made it. Lu En was resting leisurely on the deck. Lu En was worried that Tashigi would not dare to use her full strength because of excessive fear or respect for her. I just verbally promised Tashigi before that I would give her some guidance later. After all, I haven't done anything yet, so I feel ashamed of it. In this case, she really had no way of knowing her full strength of 3.8. Don't overinterpret what I mean, understand? If you hold back, or don't dare to use all your strength, I don't know your true strength. Use all your strength, don't hold back. Lu En Commodore, this is fruit, this is juice, and this is a fruit platter. If I don't really do something, I will feel uneasy in my heart. Quote. Quote. If it doesn't suit your appetite, I'll prepare something else. Chapter 112 I Don't Deserve It. Please subscribe. Closing square bracket. I understand, Luen Commodore. Please teach me, I will do my best. Don't break anything around you as soon as possible, be careful. After Tashigi finished speaking, she felt that she had said too much. She was so arrogant that she asked Luen Commodore to be careful. He was the one who defeated Smoker with one punch, so why would he care about a sergeant's attack? Tashigi's character really made Luen feel good, he was a young man who didn't fight. After a brief exchange, Luen drew out his sword. He looked determined and attacked Luen. From the speed and angle of the attack, it should be full calendar. But this level of speed still looked like slow motion in Luen's eyes. When the sword 29th tip chopped Luen's forehead, Tashigi could clearly see that Luen didn't move at all. For a moment, she hesitated to attack. She hastily put away some of her strength to avoid any accidents. The result was shocking. Tashigi looked at Luen, wondering if the agreement between them was still valid. Your strength is too weak, you need to start from the basics. If he said yes, it was yes, and if he regretted it, Tashigi really had no way to deal with it. Sorry, Luen Commodore. After all, Luen did not fully agree to it now, and said that she would see her performance. She even regretted why she had to retract her strength just now. Go chop the stones first. What disappoints me is not your ability, but your decisiveness when you take action. But she had to change her mind and worry about Luen's safety. He fell directly backwards and fell heavily on the deck. The sword in his hand fell to the side. Such a mentality is absolutely unacceptable in battle. The subsequent matters were entirely explained by Luen alone. My strength and ability are too poor, and I disappoint you. Tashigi knelt on one knee and said as soon as he reacted. Tashigi rubbed his arm in pain. Luen, who had not made any moves before, suddenly flicked his finger and hit the sword of Woshichi. He was already in the stage of retracting his strength, but suddenly the angle of the force was changed. What can I say to you? If you encounter a strong enemy, you will be dead if you hesitate for a moment. You are really worrying for nothing. I have explained it to you so clearly, but you still think so. As a preparatory apprentice, what would happen if her performance was too poor? Inschi knew in her heart. Ouch. Luen directly pointed out the problem, making it impossible for Tashigi to avoid it. Do you understand what I mean? Do you think I can't see it? You just retracted your strength, right? Quote. But you have a good heart, and kindness is an important quality. Luen had already told her not to hold back, and it was Inschi's own problem. I think too much, it's my responsibility. If Luen was really angry, it was not impossible for her to change her mind. I know how you feel, I just want to remind you not to do it next time. I hope Commodore Luen won't be angry, the things between us. Point 270. Otherwise, after Luen attacked, she would not have fallen so badly. It's my problem. Sorry, Commodore Luen. Are you worried that I won't react and will hurt me? Chapter 113 Improve Your Own Strength. Please subscribe. Closing square bracket. Luen said directly, which was like pointing out the way for Tashigi. There is no shortcut to improve your swordsmanship. Not everyone is like Luen, who has a system and is born to improve his strength. It is absolutely impossible to change your mind. You can only let others perform well and know what to do next. Chop stones. Really chop. This. Tashigi knew that her strength was not enough, but there seemed to be nothing special about chopping stones. Next, she thought Luen would teach her a lesson and was unwilling to pay attention to her. It was just that what she said suddenly was not causing trouble for herself. Or in another way, she really didn't know if she was giving up. Look at your eyes, I know what you think. I didn't mean to give you any problems. Quote. There is no shortcut to practicing swordsmanship. This is the most fundamental way to improve your strength. After considering the facts, make your own decision and see if I am deliberately causing trouble. I have already regarded you as my own apprentice and am training you. If your foundation is not well laid, your future will be worrying. In the following time, he naturally did what Luen said and didn't cause him any trouble. Does Luen Commodore like these things? Luen said that he would guide Smoker to learn Haki, but only if he could complete the task. Come here. Having just received guidance from Luen Commodore, Tashigi wanted to train as soon as possible to improve his experience. In a cabin, Smoker, who witnessed everything, was very envious. Luen Commodore is resting now, and there should be no tasks at present. Li Chinhao. No matter who you ask, what you say is what your wife does. Smoker always felt that it was a very embarrassing thing to ask Luen for methods in advance. Thank you Luen Commodore for reminding me. I will come to you for the next training course after I can cut stones casually. I don't mean anything else, I'm just asking. Colonel Smoker, what's the matter? Actually, I want to ask. Ahem, it's not a task. Quote. Luen Commodore, don't worry, I will definitely complete the task you assigned. Smoker also wanted to get Luen's advice, but since yesterday, he didn't know how to tell Luen. It was because of the face that so many troubles appeared. I understand, I will do it now. After thinking clearly about what he really wanted, it seemed that there were no problems that were difficult to handle and solve. Tashigi said curiously, not knowing what Smoker wanted to do. After seeing Tashigi leave, Smoker quietly followed him. Lu En's words were earnest, but there was really nothing wrong with the principle. After thinking it through, see if you should do as I say. Tashigi could hear that Lu En was not joking, but was really thinking of a way to practice for himself. How do you make your juice? Tashigi. Chapter 114. Good training. Please subscribe. Closing square bracket. Smoker clearly cared deeply, but after he said it, he still felt something was wrong. He quickly reminded Tashigi not to think too much about other things. Tashigi had been with Smoker for a long time after all. As Smoker's subordinate, he knew Smoker's character deeply. Seeing him hesitantly speaking, he completely understood what he wanted to do. But Tashigi didn't expect that Smoker would have such thoughts. In the past, he was a person who didn't accept anyone. No leader or strong man gave him face in the book. Today, when it came to Lu En, everything seemed to be reversed. But Tashigi could also understand Smoker's performance. Lu En did have a special magic, and the 53 people who had contact with him knew it. Being impressed by strength was only one of the points. The important thing was Lu En Commodore's attitude towards his subordinates. He would never make you feel uncomfortable, and there was a feeling of being taken care of. As a subordinate, I really wanted to follow him straight. Colonel Smoker, you also want to learn from Lu En Commodore, right? You don't have to go through so much trouble like me. Lu En Commodore promised you, and he promised you thoroughly. Now we are all carrying out the mission for him. If you have anything to say, you can go directly to Lu En Commodore, CJBD. I think he will definitely tell you, and he won't hide anything. Lu En Commodore is also a very generous person, and he must have forgotten what happened before. Think about it, he asked me to care about you yesterday and see how your injury is. It means that in his eyes, you are also a righteous person who is tolerant of his temper. Tashigi expressed his analysis, which was not very accurate. It did not embarrass Smoker at all, and gave him a more appropriate and comfortable step. After hearing this, Smoker scratched his head and pretended to be indifferent. As that's so, maybe you're right, I don't really care about it. Anyway, as long as I can complete the mission, I can always learn from Lu En Commodore. If I go over and ask him now, he shouldn't think I'm a bother, right? Smoker said he didn't care, but he still wanted to know what Lu En thought of him. Perhaps, only after Tashigi said it, he could feel more at ease and dare to go to Lu En to talk. Definitely not, Lu En Jungwo is not that kind of person. Colonel Smoker, I'm going to complete the training mission Lu En Commodore gave me. If you have anything to ask or say, go to him directly. In the past, when facing Smoker, Wo-Sichi always acted timidly. Today's state seems to be different from before, and Smoker can't tell exactly where it is different. It seems that the identities of the two are the same, and there is no difference between superiors and subordinates at all. Okay, then you should do your best. The training task arranged by Lu En Commodore must be completed well. Don't let Lu En Commodore down, train well. Apart from saying this, there is really no other reason to continue talking. Smoker felt that he was the one who was timid, and there was no benefit in continuing to talk. On the other hand, the two people's communication was not in a place where no one could be seen. Chapter 115. Just carry out the mission. Subscribe please. Closing square bracket. Lu En saw everything. Of course he knew what Smoker was thinking. Of course he couldn't stand out now, so he just waited there to see if Smoker was willing to come to him. In fact, there is nothing in common between Haki and swordsmanship. If Smoker came to him, he wanted to find a quick way to master Haki. Let Lu En talk. Lu En couldn't say anything. Because there is really no suitable way, even if he wants to talk, he can't get a suitable answer. It's better to change the idea and arrange some other training for Smoker. At least, he can temporarily see his own improvement. Maybe, with Smoker's ability, he may improve faster. Only when he gets what he wants, everything can go smoothly. We'll reach our destination in a few hours. Please give me flowers. It is necessary to see the reality in front of you clearly, so that you can have a better way to deal with the problem. What do you want to talk to me about? It has exceeded his ability, and it is not so easy to think independently. Lu En asked knowingly to see if Smoker was going to say it. Nothing else, I just want to say this. Soon, as Lu En expected, Smoker slowly walked out of the dark. Let him know what he should do next and give him a reasonable arrangement. There's a dragon park in Cocoa West Village, and when you get there, just go there to perform your mission. What Tashigi could do, he still couldn't do. Okay, there's nothing else, and there's nothing I can help with. Now I see that everyone is busy, I think maybe there are some things I can do. After completing this mission, I will guide you to practice armament Haki. But for a person who wants to save face, this is not an easy thing. Besides, you only need to kill the evil dragon. Smoker thought about it, but still couldn't say it, just simply described his feelings. I want to ask. Don't worry about other things to appease the villagers, I'll handle it. That's all. He showed such a posture, and it really can't be easily changed. Lu En certainly wouldn't force it, and wanted Smoker to obey completely, only if he could see his situation clearly. You look like you have something to say. As if he would lose face if he said it. If he really wanted to ask for advice humbly and put aside his face, he might really give him some instructions. Apart from this, other methods may not work for the time being. Is there anything I need to do? Nothing else to say. Smoker struggled for a while, but couldn't say it in the end. Are you continuing with my arrangements? If there's nothing else, go down. Lu En continued to ask, giving Smoker another chance to see if he would say it. What's wrong, Kaijie? It is really too difficult for him to ask for advice, his personality is like this. You don't need to take action against his subordinates, just capture them all if you can keep them alive. Came to Lu En. Chapter 116 Come and Bear It Alone. Please subscribe. Closing square bracket. Since Smoker's thoughts are known, he still needs to give him a little reminder. Let Smoker know that Lu En has not forgotten this matter, at least he still has some motivation in his heart. Otherwise, Smoker will find it difficult to do many things in the future. Ahem, I am not in a hurry to ask about this matter. Since Lu En Commodore has not forgotten it, it is even better. Thank you Lu En Commodore. Smokers, 903, expression did not change much, but he was still very happy in his heart, knowing that he had received more support. With motivation, it is better to do the subsequent things more perfectly. There are still a few hours of sailing distance to Kokoyasi village, and nothing can happen unexpectedly. We must be well prepared to meet the next challenge. At this moment, in Kokoyasi village, Nami, how much money did you bring back this time? Didn't you lose it once last time? Don't you find another place to put it? Our orange grove may have been targeted. It is not a safe place. It's not easy for you to save money. I know what your purpose is. Quote. Nokigo looked at Nami who had just returned from the sea and couldn't help asking. She knew that Nami had not had an easy life in the dragon pirates over the years. Facing a group of fishmen who destroyed her village, not only could she not take revenge, but she had to work for them for free. She saved money because the dragon offered Nami a price, asking her to work part-time to make money to repay her debts and earn money back to her village. She was able to come up with such a solution in order to limit Nami's space for activities. Nami herself knew this. Even, Nokigo told her that the money she had lost before was most likely from the dragon. Nami didn't need Nokigo's reminder at all, because she actually knew the answer in her heart. But what would it matter if she knew the answer? The local marine and the dragon colluded with each other and had no intention of attacking the dragon. If she didn't save money, the village might always be in crisis. There was no way to find other solutions. Not necessarily, maybe I was careless and was seen by others. Quote. It's lost, it's lost. We can save money very quickly this time, and we can still find opportunities. The village can't continue to be occupied by the dragon. I have to work hard to have more opportunities. Nami said with a smile, which made Nokigo feel even more distressed. On the surface, Nami didn't care about anything. In fact, Nokigo knew very well that she cared about this village more than anyone else. She gave everything for the village and even joined the dragon pirates, making the villagers hate her. What she thought was hate was actually deliberately shown by the villagers. The villagers cooperated with Nami's actions in the hope that one day when Nami wanted to leave, she would not hesitate so much. The future of this village should not be borne by a girl alone. When she chose to bear it, too many people did not stand up directly, and everyone blamed themselves. She was tormented in her heart, but she could do nothing except pretending not to know Nami's efforts. Chapter 117 Follow your own routine. Please subscribe. Closing square bracket. If they didn't pretend, Nami might feel even more uncomfortable when she saw their performance. Only in this way can Nami have a real chance of survival. For this reason, everyone in the village did a good job and showed their vicious side. In fact, in private, everyone cares about Nami, and Nokigo knows this. Hey, how long can you be confident? What if the evil dragon doesn't keep his word? Will all your efforts be in vain? He is a pirate and has no credit at all. Can you really get a reward by insisting so foolishly? What if there is no credit in the end? You can get nothing. Why not take the opportunity to go out to the 29th sea next time and choose to find a place to escape? Leave here, it's all up to you to make your own choice. Don't look at other people's eyes, and don't need to look at other people's cold eyes. Isn't this a better result? Nokigo tried to persuade Nami, and everyone hoped that Nami could live a more relaxed life. Only if she is not restricted by the village can she get real happiness. Nokigo was unwilling to leave her village, because this was where Belmere, their adoptive mother, lived. Belmere died at the hands of the dragon to protect them. Nokigo insisted on protecting the Orange Grove. Even if Nami would leave, she would not choose to leave. Nokigo, you don't have to persuade me. If you could persuade me to leave by talking, I wouldn't have persisted until now. The price offered by the dragon is not that much, I can still make money. Let everyone watch, I will definitely become a hero who saves everyone. Before that, you still have to be patient temporarily. There is still a lot of time for me, I am still very young. Whatever you want to do in the future, you can wait until I redeem the village and then continue to do it, there is no problem. Ha ha ha, the dragon trusts me very much now, and will not do anything bad to the village for the time being. Let everyone continue to be patient, time will pass quickly. Quote. Nami said to Nohigo, still insisting on her own ideas and practices. As for what will happen next, she herself does not know, she can only continue to follow her own routine. Something happened. Nohigo, something happened. Are you home? I saw Nami come in too. Where is that idiot hiding now? The old voice came from the entrance of the orange grove, and the voice was very familiar to both of them. It was Uncle Jien, the security guard in the village. Uncle Jien is a sheriff in the village. 360 since the arrival of the evil dragon, the identity of the sheriff has almost no effect. In addition to calming everyone's emotions and letting everyone be patient temporarily, there is no better way. Uncle Jien, why are you here? What's the matter so urgent? Is it the evil dragon coming out? After Nohigo saw Uncle Jien, he immediately became alert. Every time Uncle Jien appeared, it seemed to bring the words of the evil dragon's action. It's not the evil dragon, it's not the evil dragon. It's marine. There is a marine warship near the sea. Quote. I just saw them, they look like very large warships. Chapter 118 It's not East Blue's warship. Subscribe. Closing square bracket. Uncle Jien said this very anxiously, because he felt that he might have seen hope. But after hearing about the marine warship, Nohigo and Nami looked at each other. No one took it seriously, nor did they care about the size of the marine warship. Tisk, Uncle Jien, I thought it was something else. It's just a marine warship. I don't know how many times it has come over the years. Is there any result? Forget it. Don't have any special expectations, it's useless. Nami said directly with a cold eye, and her performance was also quite resolute. I don't know how many times Marine has come before, and there is no proper solution in the end. Either it was defeated by the evil dragon, or it colluded with the evil dragon. In the end, it was the same, just a formality, without any performance. Now that she heard that the warship was coming, Nami didn't take it seriously at all. She didn't have the mind to care about so many things, just treat it as if she didn't see it. Nami is right, Marine is just a decoration. In East Blue, there is no righteous Marine at all. Quote. This is a paradise for pirates. A powerful pirate can be superior to the Marine. Let's not pray that the Marine will help us. Let's think about how to save ourselves. Nokigo's idea is similar to Nami's. He doesn't have any expectations for the Marine. The main reason is that too many things have happened in recent years. Every time a warship appears, it is not rescue. This time, it doesn't look good to them at all. It's different this time. It's really different. I have never seen a warship of this size. It is very likely not a warship from East Blue. Maybe, this time it will be a warship from the Naval Headquarters. The Marine of the East Blue branch did cooperate with the evil dragon before. But this time, maybe we have hope. Maybe they really know our situation and come to save us. You also know that I don't trust the Marine for a long time. Why did I come this time? Otherwise, you can go with me to see it. Uncle Jien said it with great confidence. The two girls also saw Uncle Jien's excitement. Nami, what do you think? Do you want to go over and take a look? Anyway, if there is an accident, it will not affect us. Marine is still Marine after all, and he still dares not do anything evil in front of the villagers. At most, he is just the partner of the evil dragon, there will be no other possibilities. Equals, V =_ hash. Nohigo began to look at Nami, wanting to see how Nami would react. Now there is nothing to look forward to, and looking for possibilities around him can also give Nami a little hope. Hey, it's just a waste of time. Let's go and see who Marine is this time. Wang da. Nami sighed, and still followed Uncle Jien and Nohigo to take action, preparing to go to the port to take a look. At the port, there are still fishmen guarding the evil dragon pirates. Even if you go over to take a look, you need to hide well and must not be discovered. The evil dragon has a very strong revenge mentality. Once he is discovered, there may be trouble in the future, and life will be miserable. He just wants to tear apart the fantasy of this village with his own actions. Ideographic period. Chapter 119 Huge Marine Warship. Subscribe. Closing square bracket. Although this time, Nami still didn't believe that the marine warship that came here this time would bring any good hope to Kokoja village. However, under the leadership of Uncle Jien, she and Nokiko left the Orange Grove and went to the port. The port was near Kokoja village, not far from the Orange Grove. However, because there were cadres of the dragon pirates guarding nearby, they needed to be careful. So, it took some time for the three of them to reach the port. Look, in that direction, that huge marine warship is the marine warship that I told you about coming to our Kokoja village. The three of them hid in a relatively hidden place at the port. Uncle Jien 527 glanced at the sea and pointed at the marine warship that was heading towards the port. This marine warship is really huge. After seeing this huge marine warship, Nokigao couldn't help but feel it for a week. Indeed, this marine warship is much bigger than any marine warship they have seen before. This made Nokigao feel a sense of expectation. Perhaps, a marine warship will really be different from those marine warships that came to Kokoja village in the past. You see, this marine warship is not only much bigger than the previous marine warships. Quote. Even the marine flag on this huge marine warship is different. Similarly, after seeing this marine warship, Nami and Nohigo had the same idea. Is this the marine flag of the Naval Headquarters? Hearing that, Nohigo also noticed that the marine flag on this huge marine warship was a little different from the previous ones. In other words, a huge marine warship really comes from the Naval Headquarters. Thinking of this, Nohigo and Nami looked at each other. Their inner thoughts were the same at this moment. Maybe, this time there is really hope to save their village, Kokoshia village. Naval Headquarters. Sure enough, these marine bastards of the Marine Division have finally angered their superiors. Quote. Naval Headquarters intervened here. After hearing Nami and Nokigo's analysis, Uncle Jien also reacted. Our Kokoja village is saved. Although this huge marine warship has not yet arrived at the port in Kokoja village. However, at this moment, the three people have actually felt hope. I don't know why this feeling is so strong. What's the situation? How could such a huge marine warship come here? And the two cadres of the dragon pirates who were in charge of guarding the port, Aju and Kruby, had already discovered the huge marine warship that was heading towards the port quickly before Nami and the other two quietly came to the port. However, the two of them didn't know what was going on. Normally, they would not be surprised if a marine warship came to the port. Either they would be beaten up by their dragon pirates and then flee in disgrace. Or they would come to Kokoja village and go to the Dragon Paradise, the base of their dragon pirates, to cooperate in a friendly manner. Chapter 120 The Guard Officer's Reaction. Please subscribe. Closing square bracket. However, this time it seems to be different. The marine warships that came here in the past were not too big. After all, the Marines from the Marine Division did not have huge marine warships for them to use. The Marine Division would not have so many resources. The most important thing is that most of the Marine generals in the Marine Division are not so high-ranking, so they are not equipped with such huge marine warships. Of course, the most important thing is, the Marines who can take a fancy to the Kokoja village and the Dragon Pirates are not powerful Marines. Could it be that the Dragon has found a more powerful Marine to cooperate with? Aju looked meaningfully at the huge marine warship that was coming closer and closer to them. It seemed that he was communicating with Kruby, and it seemed that he was talking to himself. Who knows? Kruby was not like Aju. He looked at this huge marine warship with a serious face. For some reason, Kruby had a strong ominous premonition in his heart. Time passed by minute by minute. Uncle Jien, Nami and Nokiko looked at the huge marine warship quietly, expecting it. At the same time, they were also paying attention and observing the two pirates in charge of guarding the port of the Dragon Pirates. Their reaction also indirectly explained what the purpose of this huge marine warship coming to Kokoja village was. However, seeing the reactions of Akio and Kruby, the three of them have already found most of the clues in the dark. Aju and Kruby have already made a vigilant look. Do you want to report to the captain? Suddenly, Kruby said to Aju. Such a huge marine warship must be difficult to deal with. If it came to Kokoja village to discuss cooperation with their dragon pirates and to collude between marines and pirates, they naturally don't have to worry about anything. But if not, they will suffer. Although the two of them are cadres of the dragon pirates, they are not weak in strength. They are unsure. Moreover, they naturally had a premonition. It is highly likely that they will be in trouble this time. Report to the captain. Aju glanced at Kruby and said with some disdain, it's too late. This huge marine warship is sailing too fast. I'm afraid it will arrive at the port and dock in a very short time. Ask for flowers. No chance. Let's see the situation first. Kruby didn't say anything. He and Aju actually had the same idea. The sailing speed of this marine warship has exceeded their knowledge. Oh, although the distance between the Dragon Paradise and this port is not that far. However, it is impossible for them to go back in such a short time. So, the only thing they can do now is to wait. Waiting for this huge marine warship to arrive at the port and then dock. Let's see who the marine from that place is who has come to Kokoja village. Nami and Nohigo have already seen that the marine flag hanging on this huge marine warship is from Naval Headquarters. Aju and Kruby don't know it at all. So, they don't know that this huge marine warship is from Naval Headquarters. It's not that Aju and Kruby have no knowledge, but they have never paid attention to these things that are of no use to them. Chapter 121 Ask for the reason for learning. Please subscribe. Closing square bracket. If Aju and Kruby knew that the marine warship that came to Kokoja village and the port they were guarding came from Naval Headquarters, they would not have the expressions they have now. They would not be so calm. Report. Lu-En Commodore, arrive at the port of Kokoja village immediately. On the deck of the huge marine warship, Lu-En was sleeping on a recliner. After hearing the report, 930, from his subordinates, Luen pulled his eye mask down a little and looked forward. So soon. After explaining the task to Smoker, there was still some sailing time to Kokoja village, so Luen lay down on the recliner to sleep and rest. After all, there was nothing Luen needed to do for the time being. Of course, no one on this marine warship would have any opinions, even in their hearts. Because, for these Marines, Luen Commodore's position in their hearts is irreplaceable. They have long been accustomed to Luen Commodore's style of doing things. Then, there will be a good show to watch next. Luen stretched and got up from the lounge chair. Walking on the deck, there was a thumping sound. The sea breeze of East Blue seems to have a different feeling. Lying on the fence, Luen was blowing the sea breeze, and his eyes looked at the port of Kokoja, which was getting closer and closer. At the same time, he naturally saw the two cadres of the dragon pirates guarding the port, Aju and Kruby. Are those the two cadres of the dragon pirates? Luen asked casually. Yes, the cadres of the dragon pirates are all mermaids. The captain of the dragon pirates, Dragon, hates and despises humans. Therefore, it is impossible for the dragon pirates led by him to have real human crew members. Although Nami is now a navigator of the dragon pirates, it is just that Dragon is using Nami. In the end, Nami will not have a good result. As for the Marines who cooperate with Dragon and the dragon pirates, it is just a cooperative relationship. Because of the dragon pirates can benefit from such cooperation. So, there is nothing else. Especially the rat colonel. During the time when Luen was sleeping, Tashigi had completed some training tasks assigned by Luen. This has benefited Tashigi a lot. If it weren't for Luen's guidance, Tashigi's ability would not increase, at least it would be extremely slow. However, now with Luen's guidance, Tashigi's ability has been significantly improved. This is why Tashigi asked Smoker to ask Luen Commodore for advice and learning. Because, the effect is really obvious. Of course, just one or two training tasks will definitely not work. Tashigi will definitely strengthen these training tasks when there are no tasks. How is it? Is there any effect? Luen doesn't really care about these two cadres of the dragon pirates. Anyway, in Luen's eyes, these two cadres of the evil 3.2 dragon pirates are no different from dead. Relatively speaking, Luen cares more about his subordinates. What Luen cares about is how Tashigi's training mission is going and how effective it is. Thanks to Commodore Luen's guidance, Tashigi's ability has improved by leaps and bounds. After hearing Luen's question, Yin Sichi also quickly answered Luen. Chapter 122 Seeing Through the Mind and Being Indignant. Please subscribe. Closing square bracket. That's good. Hearing Tashigi say this, Luen nodded with satisfaction. When these training tasks are almost completed, I will make new training tasks for you. Luen said afterwards. It can be seen that Tashigi's training direction, Luen can make training tasks suitable for her according to Tashigi's characteristics. Thank you, Luen Commodore. Tashigi heard Luen say this, and quickly bowed to Luen to express his gratitude. Luen waved his hand, indicating that it was not the case. Luen has considerable patience and love for his subordinates. 29. Maybe, I can become stronger in the future. Especially, my armament Haki. Listening to the conversation between Tashigi and Luen Commodore, Smoker on the side was also thinking secretly in his heart. After all, Luen told Smoker that after completing this task, he would guide him to practice armament Haki. Smoker's armament Haki has reached a certain bottleneck. No matter how Smoker practiced, he couldn't break through and reach a higher level. This gave Smoker a headache. Because Smoker is a very face-conscious guy. So, he didn't ask Luen Commodore for advice. However, because of Luen Commodore's promise. With Luen Commodore's guidance, Smoker's armament Haki will definitely break through the bottleneck and quickly enter the next stage of practice. Smoker is very sure of this. So, Smoker is looking forward to it now. Smoker also hopes to complete this mission as quickly and perfectly as possible. Colonel Smoker, you said so, right? With Luen Commodore's guidance, your armament Haki will definitely be able to reach a higher level. At this time, Tashigi seemed to see through Smoker's mind, and he tilted his head and shouted at Smoker. Smoker, who was still complacent in his heart, heard Tashigi suddenly speak out his inner thoughts, and suddenly became a little flustered. Ha ha ha. Seeing Smoker like this, Tashigi couldn't help but burst into laughter. Luen didn't say anything. He knew that nothing he said now would ease Smoker's embarrassment. So, it was the best choice for him to stay silent. There are three. However, Luen still spoke. There are three. After hearing Luen's words, Tashigi and Smoker looked towards the port following Luen's gaze. There were indeed three in a hidden place. They were well hidden. If it weren't for Luen's reminder, Tashigi and Smoker would probably not be able to see them. Who are they? Why are they hiding? Tashigi asked with some confusion. It seems that they should be villagers from Kokoja village. The reason they hid, of course, is because there are cadres of the dragon pirates guarding the port. Quote. I'm afraid they are not allowed to come to this port. Once they are discovered by the dragon pirates, the consequences will be serious. As for why they came to the port, it is probably because they heard that our marine warships came to the port of Kokoja village. Lu En did not explain. Smoker gave his own analysis. Moreover, Smoker's analysis is also very reasonable. It seems that Kokoja village has indeed been oppressed by the dragon pirates for too long. They need to be saved so much. After listening to Smoker's analysis, Tashigi showed an angry expression on his face, and he wanted to beat up the dragon pirates immediately. Chapter 123 Arrogant Pirates. Subscribe please. Closing square bracket. Hearing Tashigi mention that they were from the Naval Headquarters, Aju and Kruby also confirmed their previous speculation. This is the Coco West village under the jurisdiction of the Marine. You pirates are so bold that you dare to challenge the Marine of the Naval Headquarters. I wonder how the Arlong pirates treated the Cocoa West village. The huge marine warship slowed down and slowly entered the port of Kokoja village and stopped. However, Tashigi did not expect that only 2 cadres of the dragon pirates would face the marine forces of their naval headquarters. Although the dragon pirates have gained a lot of benefits in Kokoja village, they already have marine troops cooperating with them. Facing such a huge marine warship, they could still be so arrogant. Of course, they also understood what was going on. However, despite this, it makes no difference to the two of them. Moreover, the purpose of their mission this time was the dragon pirates. You are the marines of that branch, Kokoja village does not welcome you. However, they still shouted to the marines on the huge marine warship. Just a bunch of stuff. However, if the conditions do not meet the requirements of the dragon pirates. If other marine forces intervene, the interests of the dragon pirates will not be protected. Therefore, Aju and Kruby are so dissatisfied with the huge marine warship that has just arrived. They are just the same as the marines from the marine division. It is okay to talk about cooperation, but it must be decided by their dragon pirates. Kokoja village is the territory of their dragon pirates, which is completely controlled by their dragon pirates. However, now, Lu En Commodore led the marine troops of the Naval Headquarters to the Cocoa West village. Naval Headquarters. Humph, so what? In their eyes, no matter where these marines come from, they come to Cocoa West village to find their dragon pirates, all with only one purpose, that is, to cooperate with the dragon pirates in terms of interests and share a piece of the pie. Then, the Cocoa West village will be rescued by them next. Although there have been many marine troops brought by marine warships to Kokoja village. Any marine who comes here must listen to their dragon pirates. Seeing the arrogant attitude of Aju and Kruby, Tashigi first expressed his dissatisfaction. Besides, the dragon pirates were here, and they occupied more than just the Coco village. You are too late, there is no benefit you can get here. It is unlikely that the marines who can come here on such a huge marine warship are from the marine division. It can be imagined how rampant the dragon pirates were during their time in the Coco West village. Seeing the huge marine warship stopped, although Aju and Kruby's bad premonition became stronger. Before they came to the Coco West village, they naturally knew about the dragon pirates here. Just going through the motions, and want to come to this Coco West village to share a piece of change, right? The dragon pirates will not cooperate with them. So, even facing these marines from the Naval Headquarters, Marines, Aju and Kruby were still not polite. Chapter 124 Discussing Retreat Strategies. Subscribe please. Closing square bracket. Oh, so that's what happened. After hearing what Kruby said, Lu En, who had been silent, muttered to himself. As rumored, has the Marine branch in this place become so corrupt? And, consistent with the previous investigation, the Marine branch here is indeed in collusion with the dragon pirates. Before coming to East Blue Coco West Village, Lu En asked his men to investigate the situation here. Now, judging from the information revealed by Kruby, the cadre of the dragon pirates, it has been consistent with the results of the previous investigation. The rumors are also correct. Originally, Lu En planned to deal with the dragon pirates in Coco West Village after dealing with the dragon pirates in Coco West Village. He would also deal with the Marine branch in East Blue. Such corruption, collusion with pirate groups like the dragon pirates, and harming and exploiting the villagers of ordinary villages are already the 10 major shames of Marine. Lu En Commodore. Next. Tashigi had already disliked these 2 dragon pirates' cadres. His right hand was already on the hilt of his sword, ready to move. However, with Lu En Commodore here, Tashigi still needed to ask his superiors for their opinion. Just do it. Lu En had of course seen Tashigi's eagerness. These 2 guys are a little ignorant, they should be taught a lesson. Besides, Lu En was indeed a little annoyed by the 2 dragon pirates guard cadres at the port. The most important thing was that Lu En wanted to see the results of Washi's training during this period. It was not clear just by looking at Tashigi's training tasks. It was better to see it in the practice of the tasks. I understand. Lu En Commodore had already said so, and Tashigi certainly understood what it meant. Then some excitement appeared on his face. At this time, Woshi glanced at Smoker on the top. It seemed that she wanted to show off in front of Smoker and let Smoker see what kind of training progress she had made under the guidance of Lu En Commodore during this period. At the same time, Tashigi also wanted Smoker to understand. With the guidance of Lu En Commodore, no matter what aspect of practice, it will make rapid progress. This is not a method that these guys with no talent can easily understand. Another point is that Tashigi used to be Smoker's subordinate. In front of Smoker, Inchi wanted to prove her strength even more. You Marines are really slow, especially the Marines from Naval Headquarters. I asked you to leave just now. Are you deaf and didn't hear it? This is Coco West Village, this is the territory of the Dragon Pirates. You are not welcome here. Can't you hear it? Seeing that these Marines from Naval Headquarters on the huge Marine Warship ignored the two of them and looked indifferent. Aju and Kruby were so angry. I don't know where these two guys got such courage. Maybe these two guys saw that these Marines ignored them and were discussing some retreat strategy. After all, they are the Dragon Pirates. Were they scared away by their powerful name?